Hey, Sheri, how you doing?
Sweetie, how are you?
I'm okay. Man, I couldn't unstick my button right quick. It always want to act up. You feeling okay? I know it's a lot going on.
Yeah, I'm really tired. This body hurts, brain hurts.
I'm
Yeah,
hold on. I'm trying to turn this music down right quick. Wow. So, my God, where do we start, Sheri? I mean, the last time we talked, I know you said court for Desiree was gonna be, I think, August 19th and the 24th.
no, it's October. So there's a well, let me look. There's a motions hearing which is on the 5th, and then the readiness hearing is on the 21st, and trial is on the 31st. But the trial we don't know if the trial is going to start. So the 21st, on the 21st, for the readiness hearing, will pretty much let us know if they're going to proceed with the 31st date. So
Wow. I mean that. So did you even go in August? Because I was listening to our last interview and something was supposed to happen in August.
yeah, I think August date was also the 21st. Let me look real quick. I believe it was the 21st.
Yep, I think it was. I remember you saying like 19th and 21st or 24th or something like that. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank y'all for being here. We're gonna give you the updates on Desiree Thompson, and for the people that may not know who she is, we'll give you a recap on who Desiree Thompson is, and I'll do that right now. Shout out to Kathy B. Thank you for being here. Shantae, thank you for being here. How you doing? As one in the building. Cowboy and Brooklyn Squad came through. And shout out to Otho for becoming a member. So Desiree Thompson, she was Cherie's daughter, who was 31 at the time, right? Or
30.
30.
She's
30 at
30.
the time when she went missing in January of 2012. Um, the only suspect at the time was allegedly her husband. Nobody knew that it was this other guy they end up catching 10 years later. Desiree was found in the backyard of, buried in the backyard of a guy, the guy who did this, who's now in custody. And he buried her in a yard. Someone else had bought the house. He was no longer living there. And so that just happened a few months ago. Desiree just had her memorial. Cherie had her memorial. Was it on? It was on her actual birthday, right? Which was September 23rd. So when Desiree was found just a couple months ago now, a couple weeks after that, Cherie lost her mother. So she just had Desiree's memorial on the 23rd of September, and she just had her mother's memorial on Saturday. So please send them up for Cherie in her heart, because she is going through a lot right now. She's a strong woman, but she's a woman. She's human. Like, this is a lot to bear. So I just wanted to catch up with Cherie and see how she's feeling, see if we can help in any way, and go from there. So Cherie, you can start wherever you would like. If you want to start with your mom, you can. I want to know how you feeling, and my God.
Yeah. Well, my mom became really ill after all this COVID stuff. She ended up catching COVID twice. My mom has had to stop working. She was already in her 70s and she was still working a full time job. But she had to stop working because she had had a heart attack. And then COVID hit, and she ended up getting COVID twice. So I was literally watching her deteriorate. I knew she was tired. After the first bout of COVID, she was no longer able to walk anymore. She was on oxygen all the time, even though, luckily, she was never on the ventilator at either time that she was hospitalized behind COVID. They told us that once you're put on that ventilator, your likeliness of coming off is almost zero. And so she just got really ill again. And after the second bout of COVID, they had set up a room at my brother's house so that my sister could take care of her there. And she just, like I said, she just kept deteriorating. So a day before she passed away, my sister went in to check her vitals and things like that, and her oxygen level was very low. Her sugar levels were low. Her heart rate was low. And so my sister did everything the doctors had told her to do, and, trying to help her. She did that, and nothing was helping. So she had the ambulance come and get her, took her to the hospital. They kept her overnight, and the following morning they called my sister and told her that we need to get there because she will not make it today. Her kidneys were failing. Her heart rate wouldn't go back up. She was at the end. And so, God blessed us all to be able to be in the room with her. We're a big, big family. So we kind of took over the hospital emergency area with everybody. And, we just let her know it's okay. Desiree's up there waiting on you. Daddy's up there waiting on you. It's okay. We know you're tired. Took her last breath with us standing there.
2020 ruined a lot of lives. It's just devastating to hear that even had anything to do with it. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through all of this. You said your mom was in her 70s?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. She lived a long, long life, but you know what? Saturday, I told my siblings, I said, now you know how she was. She loved her music. She loved to dance. As old as she was, she still liked to dance. Mm-hmm. And I told them, I said, well, she's up there dancing right now. Her and Des are up there dancing up a storm.
That's good. So, I'm happy that you find peace with that. That's good.
I knew she was tired. I miss her, and I shed tears.
Did she really? Did she know that Desiree was found? Was she able to know that before she passed?
Yes.
Good.
She didn't know the details of what happened to Des. Mm-hmm. In her state of health, I didn't want her to know that part.
Yeah.
But we made sure that she knew Desiree was found and Desiree was home.
That's
I don't think she could have handled. No, yeah, she knew Des had passed, but I told my sister, I'm going to leave that in your hands. What you want her to know, what you don't want her to know. I said, I choose not to tell her, but that Des was murdered. She is coming home. And that's really all she needed to know.
Yeah. Yeah, the details.
So I think that was a big relief for her too. And at that point, I knew she was just tired. She was ready to go be with my dad. And knowing that Des was coming home, that was good enough for her,
Yeah.
And we just let her know it's okay. It's okay. We know you're tired. And even though she couldn't talk to us, she, I knew she was listening to what I had to say. I could see it in her, in her eyes. She knew what I was saying. So
that's good. I'm happy to hear that.
I miss her, and I shed tears for her as well.
Of course.
Yeah, I miss her, and I shed tears for her as well. She's a strong woman, and I know she's resting now. I know she's resting, so it was a good celebration for her on Saturday. A lot of tears shed that day too, but just like with Des, we didn't want that to be the only thing that was prevalent in the celebration of them. They both were very simple people that they just wanted family and friends to be together and to enjoy the day. We shared memories and things like that on both occasions for both of them, and we had a lot of stories to tell.
It
was beautiful.
A little bit of the Desiree's memorial. So you were pleased with both of them. How did you feel that day? Like, I mean, does it feel like a relief, or is it not like you thought it would be? Like, do you feel relieved now knowing that
you're breaking up?
Oh my God, am I breaking up bad? I don't know why. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I couldn't understand half of what you said.
Oh wow, what the heck? I wonder why.
I can hear you.
You can hear me now. Okay. I was saying, are you feeling a little bit more at ease with the?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I'm gonna get back on my phone then. I ain't got time for this computer. Hold on. My phone was ouch. You can talk. I'm pinching.
Gotta love technology, huh?
Listen, this is annoying. I can't stand this computer.
Yeah, no. I feel a lot of relief. I feel a lot of relief with both. I know my mom is.
You can hear me.
Is resting now. She, like I said, she's worked all her life since she was 13. I can hear you, but every now and then you just break up.
That's so annoying. I hate that. Like.
Yeah, my mom has been she was working since she was like 13 years old. She was 2 jobs. So, and to work all the way into her 70s, that was just her thing. She was just a strong woman that was constantly working. What? Yeah, but you got some other stuff that you need to do when you get home. Okay? Okay.
And then the phone that I'm
on live right now.
Acting up too.
Have me my thing. Don't ask me for nothing else. I'm not gonna tell you.
Okay.
You just you take it.
Okay. I'm gonna show y'all some pictures from that. No, it's okay. I'm gonna play it.
My grandson.
These are a couple of photos from Desiree's birthday / memorial. I didn't put any. Huh? What you say?
She was there that day.
What did you feel?
I said she was there that day.
I was gonna ask you, of course, if she made any more appearances. What did you feel?
Oh yeah, she has, but we could all feel her presence that day. And then, like when the balloon released, it was just amazing. It was like I released my balloon, and um, told her I loved her and everything. And the balloons go up, and everybody releases. There was two balloons that got stuck in the tree at first, and then all of a sudden you see they come loose, and every one of the balloons they all just followed that one balloon up.
Wow.
It was
Now
beautiful.
that's always
Yeah,
beautiful
so,
to see that.
yeah,
Yeah, because you always feel like the ones that linger is them, you know.
yeah. They just. Hmm. And it was like one got stuck, and then another one kind of got stuck, and then it was like all of a sudden they just came loose, and they just went ahead and they followed the other balloons up, and it's just like wow. Because I remember one of the balloon releases that we had out in Cal City for the boys. This is stuck in my head. I'll never forget this. We were all standing in the middle of the street, and we're like off to the side of where the house was,
Mhm.
the Aspen house, and the prayer was said, and we let the balloons go, but all the balloons floated, and they went and they hovered over the Aspen house.
Really?
They just sat there and they hovered over the Aspen house, and then they went on. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, never seen anything like.
I would love to find that. I mean, was it one of the last ones y'all did? Or y'all still doing them, right?
Yeah, they still do balloon releases every now and then. They
Oh,
every 21st there's a prayer. Still,
okay, yeah. I was just
yeah.
wondering if they're still
It's
doing
not
that.
always out at the Aspen House. A lot of times or yeah, it's usually over by the PD or over off of Potomac or somewhere over, like that. They'll pick a different place, but there's always a prayer on the 21st. And they will
Hey,
typically
Keish.
film it.
Okay. Hopefully I ain't kill y'all ears too bad. Can you hear me better? Can you hear me, Sheri?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
I just didn't know if it was better or not. I'm like, I don't know. Dang, this light is jacked up though. I thought outside would be a good thing, but it's not working out too
Yeah.
well. So the whole thing was filmed. I wanted to play it, but I know what's his name's footage, so that's why I didn't end up playing it. What's his name? Matt, and I forgot the name of his channel.
Oh, AV News Crew.
Your last prayer was virtual. Okay, is that the one that
Yeah, they did a prayer. That was this past 21st.
So hey, African Dreaming, Anita Alexander, thank y'all for coming in, and anybody that I missed. Wellness with Frugal Mama. What is Keish? Hold on. So how's the kids doing? The granddaughter. I know she was having. I know last time we talked, you said she opened up a little bit and she's doing better. Is she still good? Good.
Yeah, she's doing better. So at her
Now
mom's,
I can't hear you. Why can't I hear you? Hold on. What in the heck?
My microphone's on. technical difficulties.
I don't know. Can you hear me now? Or can I hear you? Okay, I can hear you now. I think my Bluetooth was still hooked up. Hey, what's up? Shero Nation in the building. So good to see you. I hope you're doing better. How you doing, Ms.V? Praying for your peace. Shero Nation said.
Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. It's a lot on the heart. So I really wanted to know if you feel any relief. What's the next step after this? To keep,
I do,
or have you even thought about it?
I do feel a sense of relief. Now it's like like I was telling everybody the past couple of weeks, it's like now, we're done with the celebrations of life for death and for my mom. And so I've got, a couple of weeks before the readiness hearing. And basically it's just really trying to breathe and get my thoughts together, just kind of like release. Because at this point now, we already know that the trial is going to be coming up sooner than we would think. Even if it doesn't start on the 31st, which I'm praying it does, it won't. Even on the 31st, it's not actually going to be the trial starting. It'll be jury selection. They haven't done jury selection yet. So it would be jury selection and then on to the trial. But I'm just praying that on the 21st that they say, yes, they're ready to move forward and we can start, getting ready for the trial. I have to get my mindset ready for this because there's going to be parts of it that I already know that are going to be, to say the least, hard to deal with. I would take each trial day, as it comes. I've told my family that as we're sitting in that courtroom, I don't want them to feel as though they're letting me or my daughter down if they walk out of the courtroom because there's something being shown or said that they can't handle. Because at the end of the day, my daughter's case is like a horror film. And I don't want my family to suffer through mental and emotional things that they hear from the court. If there's something I can't handle, I will walk out. My daughter knows that I'm not. It's not that I'm not representing her. I can represent her right outside that courtroom door just as well. But I have to think of my mental state. I still have her children to finish raising.
Yeah.
And so I can't let myself go cuckoo behind the things that I know that this man did to her. I have to keep my mind strong. And so I'm just worried about my family and my oldest son being in there and hearing these things. Now, her older children, they won't be there because I won't allow them to be there.
Really?
They don't need. Yeah, they will not be there. And they don't need to know the things that I know that happened to their mom.
Yeah.
It'll destroy them. It'll destroy their lives. And I refuse to have that happen. So I've asked them to just remember their mom as they remember her, and know that I'm doing everything in my power to get justice for their mom.
Got an issue going on with this background. Yeah. That it is a lot going through the trial and all of that stuff, looking at pictures. And have you been shown pictures and stuff already? No.
Nope.
That's scary. How do you think you would feel? I'm just curious. You know, my cousin, she was murdered in 2004, and it was this year that that show Snapped, or one of those shows, picked up her story and they aired it. How do you think you would feel about that?
I already have a production company trying to reach out to me.
Really? That, yeah, because it's like a certain amount of time that they have to wait before they can get those documents and do a story. But they'll do it whether you contact them or not. Because they have reached out to me, and my uncle didn't want it, though. It's his daughter, so.
Yeah, so Desiree Schiller's mom contacted me and told me that this production company was interested in the 8 cases out there, and that they wanted to talk to me about Desiree's case. And
Really?
at that point, I told her, I said, send me the information. I said, I will not do anything until I talk to her children.
Yeah.
And to my son. And once I talk to them and see how they feel about it, that's what'll, make my decision whether to move forward or not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've already approached the children with it, and all of them are, yes, absolutely.
They're for it. See, if it was up to me, I would have been for it, but I never responded, and I didn't know how they operate. So nobody in the family got an input because nobody wanted to say anything, and they did it anyway. So I'm like, I would have wanted to have an input. I was upset about it, though. I really was.
I feel like this, and the kids feel the same way. This is something that people need to know about, for the simple fact that you could be standing in a grocery store. You don't know what that person next to you is either going through or what that person has done.
Mm-hmm.
I walked around Cal City for over 10 years. I'm sure at some point the kids and I could have been in the same store or in line next to this man, at the gas station next to this man at some point in time.
And honestly, in your case, it's ongoing. It's still, you're in it. For us, it was like, my uncle was like, well, the kids are doing good. I don't want to reopen the wounds. It was like 15, 17 years later, but yours is ongoing. I would definitely want to do that because it's happening now, and people do need to know.
Yeah, they need to know. The thing is people need to know that there's weirdos like him lurking, waiting for
sitting up in the church.
So sit up, and you need to, at this time in life, in this world we live in, we have to constantly be aware of our surroundings. We have to constantly be aware of everything that's going on around us. Pay attention to the people that are around you, because you just don't know. My daughter did not know this man. Never met this man. And it's like he chose her out of the ones that he was supposedly angry at. He chose her. She did nothing to him, didn't know him, never seen him before, nothing. So, I definitely feel that her story needs to be out there. Um,
Yeah.
Even if it helps one person, I swear, if it just helps one person, um, you know, this stuff happens every day. It's sad. It happens every day. But for this
It
man to
does.
murder my daughter, bury her in the backyard of a home he was renting, continue to live in that home for a while, then move out and still continue to live in the same town he did this. This man has done this before. I'm sorry. He's too comfortable. So
Yep,
now I'm
that's
just like,
exactly what we said last time. I believe it. I believe it. He didn't just what is he in his 60s? He didn't just wake up 10 years ago or whatever, like, oh, I'm gonna do this.
right. He was 50 when this happened. He's 61 now. So a person does. I mean, come on. Why? This is the part that I have such a horrible time trying to wrap my head around. It, he got so angry, but he's the one that created it. He's the one that caused his own self to be angry. You went to a party you weren't invited at. My daughter was not at that party. My daughter was trying to walk home. She didn't even know anything about this party, nor would it have been a party she would have went to. But at 50 years old, he invites himself into a party where he didn't know the people. They didn't know him. They put him out. In the course of being put out, I guess he got pushed down and he gets angry. Well, if you hadn't been at that party that you weren't invited to, you wouldn't have got pushed down.
I mean, but to pick a girl out the bunch, I mean, why didn't he target one of the men? I'm just saying, like, he chose his battle that day.
Exactly. He sat up there and got angry about being someplace he wasn't invited in the first place. Now you done sat up there and made yourself so mad. You go back to retaliate on these people that supposedly assaulted you for being somewhere you weren't invited. But you get so angry that you don't even care who it is that you kill. And you see my daughter just walking down the street by herself, and you choose her to murder. And in the fashion that you murdered her was horrific. I mean, this wasn't just an average, I'm going to stab you murder. He went beyond.
And then kept the machete.
And so I have a problem. Like I've told you before, I have a problem with the fact of her getting in the vehicle. She didn't get in the vehicle willingly. And there's nobody that can make me believe that unless you show me that she did. And I know she didn't. First of all, there's a language barrier. He speaks Spanish. My daughter speaks none. How did you offer her a ride and a freaking beer and she doesn't even drink beer?
Do you think it could have been somebody else that helped him get her in the car? You think he acted alone?
They said he did. He said he
probably,
did.
You know what? He could have got her in with a weapon.
Yeah, exactly. I think he had that machete. Wow. I think he had that machete because the coroner's report states that there was chopping to her face and skull. I think, and I want to know where that vehicle is now.
So you read the full coroner's report?
I don't have the coroner's report. I have her death certificate, and on her death certificate they amended it with the chopping to the face and skull. Everything else. Yeah, everything else is pending on there, and I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
I remember the last time in July when we talked, you said that they had to amend something, but you didn't tell me what exactly.
Yeah, they haven't told me everything because at that point when I was talking to the detective, he said, "Look," he said, "I don't know how much you want to know." And at that point, when I got to the part of reading that one article of her being stabbed to death, and that's where the smashing her head into a mini fridge. He didn't do that either. He used that machete.
So
That was a lie. To me, I don't want anybody to read into this anything, but to me, it's a lie. Because first of all, my daughter would not have been reaching into a mini fridge to get a beer that she didn't drink.
yeah.
First of all, she would not have got in that vehicle with him. He didn't speak English. She didn't speak Spanish. And he was not a person she would have gotten in the vehicle with. Again, we have a language barrier there. He's not a person she would have got in the vehicle with. She didn't know him. Creepy little Hispanic man running around. She's not going to get in the damn car with him.
So that story came from the church folks, from the letter he wrote or whatever?
That's what he told the informants happened. But it's like I told the detectives, I know right now at this point, you guys can't really, unless somebody comes forward and says that they saw him force her into the vehicle, you guys have to go by what the informants are telling you. I understand that. But I'm telling you, because I'm her mother, and I know she would not have got in that vehicle. You can ask anybody that knows her. They would have told you the same thing I'm telling you now. She would not have got in that vehicle. Damn.
Now I'm trying to understand, is that what he's currently saying, or that's what he said to his church people a long time ago?
That's what he told the informants.
Okay, the church. Okay, the informants. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. So maybe I wonder if his story has changed. You know, what is he saying now? Like, even if he remembered, like he should remember something like that.
Girl, he remembers everything. He done told the story too many times, and the story doesn't change. The story does not change.
So he didn't lie to himself then, because.
Right. So from what I understand, and this came about in another somebody else that has been following her story. I happened to come across her YouTube, and I'm listening to it. I'm like, okay, that's not right. That's not right. And so I got in the comments and I tried to let her know, no. This is what it is. Whatever she was saying that was incorrect. I was correcting it as we were going along in the messages. And then I just told her, I said, call me. I'll let you know what I know. And so she mentioned in this, she mentioned something about a bar. I never heard anything about a bar. But at one point, my brother's best friend was over at his house, and he's actually an LA County sheriff. And he's been following my daughter's story, and he's been trying to do what he can in the background. But he's LA County. He has no jurisdiction in Kern County, but he can still do his little research and do what he does on his end, from where he's at. And that's what he was doing. He did mention to me then, I told him, I said, look, I really have a problem because this person mentioned this bar. And I said, I've never heard anything about the bar. And he said, yes. He said, that's where, remember I told you that there was other people that were being told the same story, but they didn't take heed to it. They just thought he was some drunk just talking out the side of his neck. Well, the bar thing supposedly did happen. And he was in the bar, saw her face up on the TV screen, and just made the comment, oh, that looks like the girl I murdered. But nobody took heed to this. Nobody, you don't find that strange that this dude is just sitting up there saying He murdered somebody? That looks like the person he murdered? Are you kidding me?
What?
You don't think that's suspicious? Why doesn't anybody say anything?
People just don't be. It ain't them. That's usually what it is. It ain't them. They just.
I would have been suspicious, and I would have wanted to get the heck away from anywhere he was around.
Heck yeah.
Say something.
Wow,
that
I've never heard that part. I had heard something about a bar. I thought she had went to the bar or something. But I didn't hear that part. Like he made that. You know, the thing is, I wonder how many of these witnesses will they even be able to find?
That's what I'd like to know.
Maybe that's probably what's taking so long. That part of it, maybe.
It could be.
Trying to find witnesses that'll speak up.
They changed the DA. I don't know why, but I'm okay with it because at least this one she actually talks to you. The other one, we barely got to say really anything to him, and that was the day that they did the timeline, and there was just really no talking to him at that point. So now this DA that they have, she's the type that she told us, she says, look, she says, I want you to understand. She says, I don't care where we are in this process. Even during the trial, she says, I never stop investigating. She says, I'm always investigating. And I said, okay, good.
Good,
yeah. You know, I'm glad to hear that because,
yeah,
you know, there's more to this guy. And when you pull him up in the,
I hope some people come forward that he's messed with. You know what I'm saying? It gotta be more. It gotta be more people. His wife's family. Somebody need to come forward.
Well, I hope that as the trial starts, that they'll start bringing more witnesses in on him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have so much evidence on this man. She told me, she says, we have no doubt we have the right person.
Okay, good. Okay.
No doubt. We got the right one. You know, the thing is, I find crazy is that he just left everything to be found. And then you're going out and you're telling the story.
Right.
It's like, you know, and the detective said he's a very boastful person. He feels like it's like he tells the story and it makes him a bigger person.
I mean, I think that's a lot of them are like that. You know, they want to be on the scene when it happens. Like the guy that killed my cousin, he was on the scene. You know, he knew what he had done.
Yeah, it's like I told the detective and the
out
DA.
there doing this, jumping the baby, catching him, and we all out there fucking devastated. Like anyway.
Yeah, it's like I told them, you know, I want justice to be served to the highest extent that they can give him, whatever
Life
it is,
or death, but you don't want that.
I don't want death penalty, which we don't have that in California, so I'm not worried about that. And I've already made that perfectly clear. I don't want death penalty. I want this man walking on the yard in general population.
Yeah.
Simple as that, because at the end of the day, you go ahead and be boastful and be out there on that yard and boast about killing an innocent woman with children and see how that gets you.
Tracy says she loves you. Hello, Sheri, love you.
Love you too.
I thank y'all for being here too. Bottom Theory TV and anybody else that I didn't speak to. Please be sure to smash the thumbs up, y'all, and share it if you like. this is Sheri. She's been going through a lot with what happened with her daughter, and never in a million years did she think that it would be this outcome. Like, I was totally blown away, but I'm so happy that finally, I mean, because Sheri has been fighting for a very long time. Like I said, it was 10 years to the dang near. No, it's over 10 years now, right?
It'll be. We're working on 11 years. It'll be 11 years, January 7th.
Right. Wow. So over 10 and a half years.
Yep.
I tell you, time flies. I mean, it really does, because
I'm so ready for it to just all be over with. But at the same time, I want to make sure that justice is served properly.
yeah, even though they got him, you still want to know what really happened and hope that he, will tell the dang on truth. But whether he do or not, like she said, they got him anyway, and he ain't getting out of it. So.
He's here illegally. At the end of the day, when he'll die in the prison, and he'll be buried in that prison. He will never come out of that prison, ever. Whatever prison they put him in, he will die there. I don't foresee anybody from El Salvador trying to retrieve his body to take it home. So, so far.
I just wonder do we even have anybody, I just wonder if he just a drip.
I question that too, because when we go into court, it's me, my family, and the victim's advocate. So she's always there, and nobody there for him.
Wow.
And they say his wife died a year or so before all this happened. I'm kind of curious. Should he kill her?
Right.
I was told it was cancer, but God rest her soul. But how was he to her? If he's this damn evil, I can't even.
He probably took her through all kind of hell.
Huh?
He probably took her through all kind of hell.
And that's what I'm saying.
I do that to somebody. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can't picture him being nice to her. I just don't. I don't see it. I see an evil person. And if he could do this to an innocent person, what could he do? I mean, that was his wife. How was he with her? But was he abusive to her? I think so.
I really believe it, because that's a strong hatred for women, what he did, all that to somebody you don't even know, like that did nothing to you. Yeah, I see why ain't nobody on his side.
And typically they look at oh my God, where'd you go? Oh, hold on. I don't know what happened. Oh, there you go.
I still see you.
Yeah, but this thing keeps popping up on my phone. There. I just have a hard time thinking that this man, in any way, shape, or form, was ever really a decent person. I'm sorry. Because if you could do something so heinous as what he did to my daughter, and that's typically a very personal type of death when you use a knife.
Yeah.
There was nothing personal between him and my daughter. But he comes from a country where this is what they do. It's a very violent country. So, that's their way. That's the typical way, I get, from what I understand, of how the murders go in their country.
Well, I think he was too much of a PUSSY to challenge the men that pushed him down on his butt, so he made it personal with her when she had nothing to do with that. Allegedly, I mean.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. He didn't murder his wife, Miss Patty. Allegedly, we don't know. She says she believes she passed away from cancer, but that don't mean that he wasn't beating the heck out of her before that. You know, before she left here.
But
That
see,
part's legally in the country. California prisons, he will be fighting every day. Good. I hope he been fighting all his life.
yep. Well, what was I gonna say? Girl, that thought just came away just so quick.
It'll pop up soon as you say something else. Maybe.
That thought came and went. Wow. Yeah, no, he's the piece of work. That's all there is to it. I can't wrap my head around some of the things with him. They just don't make sense. They don't make sense to me.
What else is it that don't make sense to you concerning the case?
I mean, first of all, there was no reasoning. I can't understand how a person can get that angry over something where, I mean, like I said, he wasn't invited to this party. He didn't know these people. How can you get mad at them for putting you out of a party that you had no business being at?
I hope he at least had an address to the party.
Yeah, you need to be mad at your own stupid self for putting yourself in there when you didn't belong. You know, that didn't have nothing to do with anybody that was in that house. Didn't have nothing to do with my innocent daughter walking down the street. This had to do with your own stupidity, putting yourself in that position to be somewhere you weren't wanted and wasn't invited. Let alone you didn't know anybody there. Come on.
Were they able to create a timeline, or that stuff you don't know?
The timeline, so basically what the timeline was for is to present to the courts that he is the only possible person that could have done this. And that was presented because, okay, yes, she was reported missing. Yes, there was domestic violence prior to her coming up missing. But now you have this man in the picture. This man put himself there. This man has admitted to going to this party. He has admitted to being angry from that party, but all of a sudden we have a lapse of memory about anything with my daughter. But he remembers everything. He sat up there and he told the informants. I thought he told the informants together, but he didn't. He told the father and the son separately on separate occasions the story. And they came together concerned and, hey, look, this is what so-so told me.
So that's 3 people already.
That's the father and the son. That's the informant.
So the father, son, and somebody at the bar, right?
And multiple people at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then there's the boss that they all worked for. Now, he didn't tell them, but the informant, the father, so it's father, son, informant. And the father went to the boss and said, hey, look, I'm scared. I don't want to be deported, but I have to tell the police the story. What can I do? That's when he told them to write the anonymous letter and send it to CCPD. So the letter was sent to CCPD, but CCPD is saying that they don't have that letter. They don't know nothing about that letter. But the informant were smart enough, they made a copy of that letter before they sent the letter off to CCPD. So now the detectives have that letter.
Thank God.
Gay has that letter, and that's how they were able to find her. Because they wrote in that letter all the descriptive details that he told them, which led to her body in the backyard of that house. That's when they got the search warrant. They went over there. They started digging. They dug down 3 feet. They didn't find her. They were getting ready to quit. The detective said, nope, keep digging. They dug down another foot and found her. They found her. They found the knife. And when they arrested him a couple hours later, because he was under surveillance the whole time they were digging. When they arrested him a couple hours later, they already had the search warrant for his apartment. Went in the apartment and got the machete. It was sitting on his dresser like a trophy. Yep.
Wow. I mean, thank God. Thank God that he was such a dumbass to do that.
Mind you, when he was cutting her, he cut himself and had to go to the hospital. So he goes to the hospital. He tells them that he got cut at the party.
So that's how it linked. What? Oh my God, hold on. So that will give a little bit of a timeline as to when he actually got her in the car. It'll give a little bit of a timeline because the hospital would have been after.
Yeah, he gave an alias name at the hospital. But mind you, he cut himself. So his DNA and her blood DNA are all in that house.
Wow.
So when forensics went in there, they found blood DNA from both of them. There was supposedly a rope. I think they have that too. They got the knife. They found her. They got the information from the hospital. They've got the informants. They got the machete.
And yet it might not be until next year or the end of this year. Well, I mean, that is amazing. The mounting of evidence. I'm very happy to hear about that. I wonder if they found the evidence on the machete. Did he actually just
I'm quite sure they did. See, what people these dummies that murder people don't understand, and if you know, they try to clean this blood up. So you use all these chemicals and you use all this bleach and whatever you're trying to get used to clean this up. But blood seeps in places that the eye is not seeing. And even though with all those chemicals, that blood is still there. You're not cleaning up anything. But they found it on the wall. They found it on the floor in there. And so now that they have his DNA, her DNA, I'm praying that other cases start popping up. You know, if there's anything, I don't care where it is.
Maybe they trying to do that too.
If there's anything in this country that anywhere that he has lived or been or whatever, if he's done anything to anybody else, I pray that it pops up in there. Even if it doesn't pop up while we're going to trial, if it pops up later, I just
somebody gotta come. I pray somebody else come forward.
If he's done this to anybody else, I pray God reveals it all and everybody will get justice. This is not this man's first time. I'm sorry. I don't
No,
believe
it's not.
his first time, and I don't believe it was his last time. He had 10 years, and if you get that mad over being put out of a party you weren't invited in, you're subject to getting that angry again at any time and going off on somebody else. Now, you live in an apartment, so therefore you can't bury anybody in the backyard there, but you
Yeah.
got plenty of desert out there.
Yep. I
So,
mean, they were. I mean, I wonder. It'll be easy. Like if all they have to do is look for the missing people who have similar injuries and stuff like that. You know, I'm thinking that's the part of it that's taking longer. I mean, because I just can't imagine. I mean, it sounds like he ain't throw the book at him. Don't even have a trial. Like,
I look at it like it's open and shut. I don't even know what we really are waiting for. I honestly don't.
did you ever talk again to the other detective that was helping you? I know I asked you that before. I don't think you had. Remember
Uh,
the
no, Detective O'Quinn, I haven't spoken with him, but you know, I'm very thankful for what he.
does he know? But you ain't talked to him, so you don't even know if he knows.
I'm pretty sure he does. He's a cop. They find out things like this. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think he knows. I just haven't spoken with him. I've just been too busy doing other things, and there's been times I wanted to, but I was like, something else veer me off somewhere else, and I haven't spoken to him yet. But
Yeah, I just honestly I thought he would have reached out to you, but just curious.
I'm not surprised he hasn't. But you know, uh, this 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 is deep, and I know that when the court, once we get in the court and stuff like that, because the uh, Detective Brandenburg told me, look, he said, I can't tell you what to do. He said, but my advice when the coroner comes in, he said, my advice to you is to leave. Don't subject yourself to that. He said, because what's going to be said and what's going to be shown will change you. He
Are you
said,
gonna follow those instructions, or do you think you need to know everything?
I told him, I can't say whether I will or won't at this point. I have mixed emotions on that concern.
Yeah,
I want to know, but at the same time, I don't want to put myself through nightmares because it already affects me. What I do know he did to my daughter, um, and I feel like my daughter never had a chance. Once he approached her, I feel she never had a chance. He already knew when he approached her that in his mind, because she was bigger than him, in his mind, he already knows he has to do something drastic to even be able to get her in the vehicle.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because had he just approached my daughter on a one-on-one basis, if he had to try to, my daughter would have whooped his behind.
Yeah, ain't he like 5'2" or something like that? 150 pounds maybe.
She would have beat the daylights out of him because he is looking at him in court. They say he's 5'2". He doesn't even look like he's that tall.
Dang, really?
I'm 4'11", and he don't look like he's much taller than me.
Dang, you only 4'11". I ain't realized you was that short.
I'm short. I went from 5'2"3/4 to 4'11".
Oh, really? Dang.
So even looking at him, you know, across the courtroom, he's very short, and he doesn't look like he could even weigh 120 pounds. He's not a big dude at all. He's small. My daughter was 5'5" and 240 pounds, minimum 240. So You know, he had.
That's dang near my height and weight.
It's like he took her on. You know what I'm saying? Like he had to be aggressive in the beginning to overcome her.
Yeah.
To catch her off guard. And so, and then then you put this into the equation of 240 pounds of dead weight. How is he gonna move her to the Oh, people stop calling me. Good Lord. How was he gonna move her body to that grave? Couldn't have did it. There's only one way he could have done it.
Yep.
And they say he did this all by himself. So there was also the story that her body was moved. Her body was never moved. Because there was a story that he buried her in Cantil, and then he put her in the backyard. She was never moved.
Where's all those stories coming from, I wonder?
Media. I've seen it first on one of the media things from Cal City. And it's like, get your story straight, because you know, this is how people misconstrue stuff.
Honestly, yeah. Because I get my stuff straight from them and don't be right all the time.
Yeah, and so the media is not always correct unless they're speaking with the family members and things like that. And even, you know, there's been things that I've even had interviews with the news people, and they still have screwed up what I said. It's like, that's not what I said, you know, but whatever. So, but her body was never moved. So I had asked the detective. I said, okay. When I was asking him about that, I said, look, I said, answer me this. I said, is my daughter whole, or is some of her here and some of her out there in Cantil? You know, did you guys get all of her in this grave? And the way he put it made me come to the conclusion that my daughter was dismembered, which makes sense, because how was he going to move a 240 pounds of dead weight? He couldn't. He could not by himself if there was no one else there to help him. There's no way. And that's the part that kills me, to find out that is what happened to my daughter.
I know that's painful. That's devastating. I didn't even think about that part of it.
You know, so with me knowing that, that's why I said I have to, that part just kills me. And to sit in court and literally find out everything that he did to her, I have to take it day by day, because I don't know that I can handle it. I don't know if I can.
Yeah, I mean, you already said the stuff that you do know is too much. The gory details.
And that's why I told the detective, you know, I would take it day by day. I don't know that I will be able to handle it. And I told my family I don't want them to subject themselves to having nightmares and things like that of what he did to her because they sat in there and listened to it all. And I said, you're still representing her. You're still there. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know if they'll televise it?
I don't know, but I do know that from what I understand, um, there will be media in there.
They will be media.
There will be media in there. Now, whether they do it live, I don't know. But now, so if they're for people, to my knowledge, and the closer we get to the trial, to my knowledge, there's actually a link that people would be able to um, go on, and you will be able to hear what goes on in the courtroom, but you won't be able to see what's going on.
Oh, really?
You'd be able to hear what's going on in there. So I'll find out more about that as we go forward, because I believe, well, I know that they did it with in the beginning when Jacqueline and Trezell were first arrested, and we could literally just go in there and listen to the court. So I believe that will be possible. You just won't be able to see the courtroom. That's all. It's not videos.
Shoot, if I can hear it though, I would play it. I will follow it live, because I mean, I definitely want to be there any way that I can.
Yeah, so I'll try to find out for sure as we progress on, because my sister, before my mom passed, I told her, I said, well, they do have this link. I said, so if you're at home with mom, you'll be able to, you'd be able to listen to it. She's like, okay. So, but my mom passed, so my sister's actually sitting in the courtroom with us now, but I'm really worried about them. Just really, really worried.
Your sister being in, oh yeah, because of what she went through, right?
Yeah.
With her son?
No, that sister, she's in Israel. She won't be there.
Okay.
But it's my youngest sister. Both of my sisters are very, very sensitive. They've never had to deal with things that I dealt with in life. They, not that they were sheltered or anything, but it's just we lived totally different lifestyles. I left at 16, and they were still babies. And the youngest one, she wasn't even born yet. And even my brothers, because my two younger brothers, they were both like, at first they were like, well, I'm sorry, but I won't be able to be there. My youngest one, he was like, I won't be able to handle it. And I was like, it's okay. It's okay. I'd rather what you can handle, what you can't, than to get there and end up in trouble because you're trying to jump over and choke this man to death. You know what I'm saying? But he informed me, both of my younger brothers informed me that they both will be there in court. They will both be there. And so I told them the same thing. If you feel at any moment that there's something being talked about or shown that you cannot handle, please just go outside. Go stand in the hallway. Don't put yourself through it. Don't. Because I can't.
I'm happy that you got a lot of support there, though, because some people can't do it at all. So at least you got some family members that will be there by your side if you let them. Mm-hmm. But I don't blame you for the kids, like the young. But if it airs on that show,
they don't know. But you know what? The article that came out that I was worried about them seeing with all the graphic details and stuff like that, because it came from court documents. That's how they wrote this particular article. I asked the kids, the older two, I said, please, if you see it come across, please don't read it. And so what they've pretty much done, if they don't see me, on there, like I'm doing an interview or whatever, they don't pay any attention. They just leave it alone. And I'm thankful that they're honoring my wishes by not seeking out that article and reading it and things like that. And I told them I'll bear the burden. You guys are not going to be in the courtroom. I don't want you there um, because there's going to be things said that you don't need to know. All you need to know is that your mother loved you, and for you to remember her as you remember her. You don't need to find out everything else. You know. So hopefully they won't, and they understand that, okay, if they do a documentary or they do a true crime thing on her, they understand that they're going to want to be, that the production company is going to want to interview them. And I told them, I said, your faces do not have to be shown. They can blur your face out. They can distort your voice. So you don't have to be seen on there if you choose to do that. So Niara, my granddaughter, I won't expose her to that. She's okay with it being done, but she made it perfectly clear, I don't want to talk to anybody. And I said, that's okay. And they have to respect that. She struggles with PTSD and selective mutism. She's not going to talk to him anyway.
Wait, what is it she suffered from again?
PTSD and selective mutism.
What's that? Racism.
Selective mutism, because of the trauma, she can shut down and not speak. She chooses who she will speak to. So, and she went through a phase where she really wasn't even talking to anybody. She would barely talk to me or anybody in the house for a long time. Now she's more, she's talking to you. She laughs, she jokes and stuff like that, but she still shuts down. So that's the PTSD right there. She'll just completely shut down. And then the selective mutism comes in again and she won't speak. So, I won't subject her to that at all. But I will contact the production company here pretty soon. I just really wanted to get all this stuff with my mom and my daughter behind me as far as, their celebrations and stuff like that before I even tried to sit down and talk to anybody about what they want, how they want to do this or whatever, all the particulars and whatnot that goes into this, I have to look at everything before actually signing on any dotted lines for her information to be released.
You know what? I didn't even realize that all of this came forward on the 10th anniversary. I didn't even realize that. It says it took a social media post on the 10th anniversary of Thompson's death for someone to come forward. And it said a man, his name was redacted, which you was just saying this. But from the reports, the man told police he burst into tears and became overwhelmed with guilt when he read the post asking for information on Thompson's disappearance. He was pretty sure he knew what had happened to her, and he decided he could no longer remain silent. That's crazy. I mean, I'm glad he came forward, but
and the thing is, they tried to come forward in 2012 with the letter, but I guess when they sent the letter, he probably figured that it got there and that, they have the information they need. So now the police will do something about it. And then when he finds out 10 years later, it still hasn't been taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, you would think that.
Yeah, and the guilt that knowing that he knew all this time, I think he felt guilty at that point because I was still out there searching for my daughter. And I understand that I don't blame him for the letter part because we already know what we're dealing with CCPD. We don't know. They're never going to say whether they actually found the letter, if it was tossed in the trash or thrown in a file or just disregarded completely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Careless, man.
Or if it was,
Careless.
if it ever actually really did make it there. You know, we don't know. So
They allegedly lost a whole key piece of evidence. So allegedly, what, he mailed it in, or they handed it to a detective?
I think they mailed it. I don't know, but I think they mailed it because they were afraid of being deported. Yeah. And
wow.
I told them, I've already told them, I told the DA too. I said, well, at the end of the day, I said, I'm hoping that when all this is said and done, they are not deported because I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
You know, with this man in jail, if it wasn't for them coming forward again, I respect the fact that he tried in 2012.
Yeah.
And then I also told them that I want to make sure that that reward money goes to them. Because had they not have come forward, we would still be sitting here.
Is it 25,000?
Yeah, they're entitled to that.
Yeah, they are. And you know, they probably, I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about the reward with this.
And these guys, I'm sure they're going to need counseling. I'm sure that when all is said and done, the jurors are going to need counseling as well.
Yeah.
Because that's how freaking messed up it is. So
I hadn't read any articles or anything. I'm not gonna read it while we're on here, but I am gonna read it. This might be the article that you're talking about.
It says documents on it. It'll say doc.
Well, this is from KGET, but I don't know if that's the one you're talking about.
It comes from KGET, and on it, it'll have the picture of him in the courtroom, the back of his head, and the attorney. And in the description, it'll actually have docs on there.
Well, this is Desiree, for the people that don't know who Desiree is. That's Desiree and Sheri. When did y'all take this picture, Sheri?
Girl, that's one of my favorite pictures, and that was taken.
Beautiful.
Thank you. That was taken years ago. I think probably after.
I can see you. I can see that she favors you.
Yeah, that was my baby.
Man, so this is not the one, but the reason why I put this one up is because it's the latest one.
Yeah, but so you can go in there and just pull up KGET 17. And it'll and then it'll say documents on there, or docs.
Yeah.
And that is the one that is descriptive.
Yep, I think this is the one from 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's probably so, because she was found March 25th, and he was arrested March 25th.
Really? That is awesome.
If you were to pull him up, it'll say I think it says March 26th, but that's when they actually got him booked. He was arrested on March 25th.
From California City back in.
Wait, how? This is a little article. You said if I pull up what?
KGET 17, and you can pull it up on either YouTube or just Google it.
You talking about this one?
Because it's not Christian. It's not Christian. That's that did the article. That's why I went off, because I only did interviews with Christian, and this person.
And then somebody else had the nerve to write up all that stuff. Why did they even mess with it when Christian been covering it the whole time?
I don't know, but I panicked when I seen it. I went off. I even called Christian, and he didn't answer, so I left a panic message. Like, this has to be stopped. We have to something. You have to take it off of social media, whatever. My kids, man, I can't, no. You know, I was just panicked. It took me 2 days to even say anything to the kids. And I was just praying. Lord, please don't let them see this.
I wonder if he did that because it was too descriptive. He was too close to you to do that. Maybe he.
I don't know. I don't think he had his hands in it at all. Christian's a really up and up guy, and this other guy, I can't even remember his name right offhand. Let me see if I can find this. He just, I don't know. I just don't think he had his hands in it at all. Matter of fact, he wasn't even in town. He was out of town when this came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna put. Let me see. I'm mad. This computer wanna act stupid. I was gonna pull up a video. May.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find the one, because it was KGET that did it. If you pull her up, there's tons of stuff on her.
Mm-hmm.
And my one of my brothers at her celebration, he was like, I didn't realize that how, he said, I know her case is a big case. He said, but I didn't realize there were so many followers on her case. I was like, there's people following her case from around the world. That's what you don't understand.
That's awesome.
17's Christian Galeno joins us now with what we know so far. Christian?
California City Police Chief John Walker made one thing clear. This is not in connection to the West Boys Brothers case, but we just confirmed with Sheri Smith, mother of Desiree Thompson, who's been missing since 2012, that it is in regards to her daughter's case. Now, Chief Walker said earlier today that it was only in connection to a case that had gone cold out of California City. Well, heavy police presence is at the large crime scene at a home on 87th Street.
Well, this is the one when it first happened, but
yeah. Hold on, somebody's at my door.
Okay. So I'm gonna let y'all see this one. This is one of that first when they first had found her 5 months ago. If I can change the layout. Shout out to everybody that's here that I didn't speak to. Thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate it. I see y'all. Okay. When all else fails, old school. Tracy, don't say a word.
Investigators joined with police in California City, digging for evidence at a home there. 17's Christian Galeno joins us now with what we know so far. Christian?
Yeah, Tammy, well, California City Police Chief John Walker made one thing clear. This is not in connection to the West Boys Brothers case, but we just confirmed with Sheri Smith, mother of Desiree Thompson, who's been missing since 2012, that it is in regards to her daughter's case. Now, Chief Walker said earlier today that it was only in connection to a case that had gone cold out of California City. Well, heavy police presence is at the large crime scene at a home on 87th Street and Lime Avenue in California City. The FBI is also there gathering evidence and assisting the small California City Police Department, which only has about 21 officers to patrol the entire city of California City. Now, Chief Walker says they did receive credible information to obtain a search warrant to look for evidence inside of this home, but there are several cases that have gone unresolved for years or without any justice. One of those being the case of Desiree Thompson, which she went missing back in 2012. What I do want to definitely stress, this has nothing to do with the West Boys, which has been a major case here in Cal City as of recent, and has nothing to do with the occupants of this residence. These people are good people. They just happen to be in a location where we believe a crime occurred several years ago before they ever purchased the property. Right for life. That date, almost 10 years ago. Now, that case that he was referring to, as we confirmed with the mother of Desiree Thompson, is in relation to this case. She's been missing since 2012, and it's been a real head scratcher for the police department there. Her husband is a person of interest in this case, but he has also not been located in regards to this case. Now, again, police have not confirmed what exactly they found, or if they have found anything at that home.
You back?
The mother of Desiree Thompson has also confirmed to us that she
I'm back.
We'll continue to update you as we learn more about this ongoing investigation. For now, reporting in Sheri.
Huh? You found it?
I was trying to find the one. No, I'm looking for it right now.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, perfect. Is it a video? I don't know why.
It's an article.
I know,
Yeah,
that is a nice pick, huh, Tracy? Thank you, Cece. She said, yes, great job, Ms. V. Many condolences to you and your family, Miss Thompson or Smith.
Thank you. Yeah, this guy, I wish I could remember his flipping name.
I be looking serious all the time, y'all. My fault. My face be tore up. That's why my camera be off.
You know what? People always tell me, you look so mean all the time.
Yeah, my main look always been my security.
Yep. Mine too.
And now it is just natural.
I've had people tell me, I thought you was a bee. Until I got to know. I said, well, then that's why you don't judge people by their look.
Exactly. Don't judge a book by its cover, because I'm not a big time cheeser, but you know. California City, I was just going to say, ain't that the West Boys City? Yes, it is. Shout out to Superstar Bella. Yeah, Sheri is actually very close to the Boys family, and they collaborated, and that's how Desiree really, started getting more traction to her case, because Sheri had been fighting this for years all by herself, and then she teamed up with Roro and Keisha all day, and the other people in the team, and they made it happen. So I'm so happy about that. You know, today I was sitting in my car, and this guy knocked on my window. I'm like, what's up? And he like roll it down, basically. I'm like, what? I didn't say what, but I'm like, yeah. So he said, can I take a picture of that thing on a bumper sticker on your car? Because I got the boys on my car. It's a bumper sticker like showing that they was missing and all the information. And so he wanted to take a picture, and then he ended up telling me that he's an advocate for TRFF kids. You know, we can't say that word. It's so freaking annoying.
Okay, I found it.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
There needs to be a gun-free violence day nationwide. How about no bad news day? Just one. You know what? I was looking at Chicago news really pretty much right before I came on here, and they were saying that 2 babies got shot over the weekend, or 2 or 3. They just said it's a rising, and they said a 7-year-old was shot and a 3-year-old was killed. Because somebody just shooting and don't give a damn where the bullets land. It's so frustrating. I don't know what to say about this.
There's so much death on this past. Just in this year.
Let me try to grab it from here.
Really,
I'll be out for a second. Hold on. You can talk though.
Yeah, it's just in this year, it's just it's ridiculous. 'Cause every day it's something. It's people being shot. You've got these road rage people. You've got just idiots. It's just idiots. I thought it was strange at the beginning of the year because out in Lancaster and Palmdale, which is like about 15, 20 minutes from me. At first, when all the COVID stuff started, it was like all of a sudden there was all these naked people running around, and I'm like, why is everybody getting naked? Why do people run around in the street naked all the time?
In Cali?
Yes, it was like every day, 2-3 times a day, we would hear on the scanner pages and stuff like that, popping up, naked woman running around, in the street, naked man running up and down the street. I was like, what the hell? And then now it's like, okay, well, there was a naked woman the other day. There was one I think yesterday being posted. But every day it's literally people being shot and killed. It's mothers killing their children, fathers killing the whole doggone family and then turning the gun on themselves. There's a guy in Palmdale that killed his family, he killed 2 of his children, decapitated them.
Oh, Maurice somebody. You talking about a while back?
Yep.
He was a freaking personal trainer. Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's him.
And all of his people kept calling like something's going on. They thought something was wrong with him because he had this whole persona.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
There was something wrong with him. They just didn't know. He was mentally gone. But I mean, and then there's all these other ones where you're finding. I mean, people are just dropping for no reason. You got all these drive-bys. You got people. I mean, we've had a lot of car-to-car shootings on the freeways and this and that. I'm just like this. Man, I tell my kids, look, pretty soon you guys are going to be on lockdown. You're not going to be able to go nowhere.
I don't know what they planning for, but
my daughter's oldest son, he took the kids to the fair yesterday. Mm-hmm. So Matt with AV News Crew, him and Apple, his wife, had called me and they gave me free tickets and a free parking pass to take the kids to the fair. Uh-huh. And I knew I couldn't walk around that fair. There's no way with my legs and my back that I'd ever been able to even get halfway around the fair. So I told my oldest grandson, I was like, well, you want to take your siblings to the fair? He was like, sure. So they came and they went. But I was fearful even then because a few days ago, there was somebody stabbing somebody in the parking lot at the fair. It's like,
oh wow!
It's like you can't go anywhere and enjoy yourself anymore because there's always some idiot out to get somebody. It's just so much violence, so much unnecessary violence right now that it's sickening. It's just sickening. I don't understand it. I mean, I know the only thing I can attribute it to is the Bible. And, in Revelation, we're living in it right now.
Now, Cece just said there's a gang, alleged gang, that picks old ladies and kids to be initiated into the gang. And it seems like that's what's happening because so many kids and women is being targeted for whatever reason. I mean, I see it. I report a lot. So I read a lot. I see a lot. I can't report it all, but there's a lot going on out here, but I'm still, you can't live in fear though. You know what I'm saying? Because when it's your time, you gonna go. It ain't gonna be nothing you can do about it.
Exactly.
So you just try to be as safe as you can and live your life.
Yeah, that's like so. This guy that murdered my daughter, like I said, he comes from El Salvador. El Salvador is one of the most violent countries there is.
And poor too, right?
Mm-hmm. And the gang MS-13 comes from El Salvador.
Really? Are they real? They're real popular from prison, right?
You can look up that gang, and they're one of the most violent gangs around. Yes.
I think it was a female that recently was in the news that was a part of that gang and had ended up setting some people up. I know I heard that recently because I hadn't heard of that before. And I think they said that's where she was from.
They're one of the most notorious and violent gangs out there.
Now, Sheri, that article you sent me, it don't have a video, right? You just sent it to me to read. Okay.
It's just an article. But
okay, I'm gonna share this video that I just found from her. It's just a small clip that they put from Desiree's memorial. I want to see what this one is gonna show us. If I can get the thing to.
Watch from Matt now you can show. They already said, because I told them, I said, I'm going to be sure. They're fine. Just go ahead.
Oh, they said I could play it?
Yeah. It already went out to the media station.
Wait. Oh, shoot. Hold on.
Held a celebration of the Welcome back. From our 17th follow-up file, family and friends of Desiree Thompson held a celebration of life today on what would have been her 41st birthday. The gathering took place in Lancaster this afternoon. Thompson's remains were found in the backyard of a California city home in March, 10 years after she was first reported missing. 60-year-old Jose William Lara was arrested and charged with murder in connection to her death. The case was cracked when Lara allegedly told informants in detail how he killed a woman with the same description as Thompson and buried her in the backyard of his home he was renting. Lara's trial begins next month. He faces life in prison if convicted.
That's nothing. Good Lord.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Candace Matthews. I am the National Minister of Politics, not in the capacity.
Let me fix the layout. This thing is so okay. There it is. Violence, even at family restaurants, is ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a big gang, Sheri. Oh, the MS-13.
Yep.
We had a town carnival a few weeks ago, and juveniles were arrested carrying guns. I'm in a small town. But you ain't, oh, you in Vegas. Yeah, Kathy B is in Vegas. I always put her in Cali.
I'm in California. California.
Yeah, it's a Cece is in Cali. Tracy, right? I don't know. Tracy, you in Cali?
Yeah, I'm in California. All right.
No fear needed. That is so true. Can't run around paranoid. So true. Yeah, I mean, because honestly, my mother is real fearful of things like, and the older that's because the older you get, you just sitting there watching news, and then you just used to being in the house, and outside is scary. I ain't gonna even lie. I mean, I take precautions. I don't like being out late and all that kind of stuff. And with my new job, I make sure I ain't out there at night doing it. My mother is really worried about that. But gotta get my money.
I do what I have to do, but You know, I just tell my children, I said, you know, just be aware of your surroundings all the time, at all times, no matter where you're at. Just be aware of your surroundings.
You have to be, and
Yep.
that's about all you can do. So I am seeing like a lot of when I see a few people that's been talking about her before. When I typed it in, there was one person that had been covering it. I think you were on there before.
Yeah, it's all over the place now. I didn't even realize it until a few months ago, and I just Googled her name, and all this stuff just popped up. I was like, oh my god.
Whoa, 4 days ago, Spirit did Desiree Thompson Spirit told me validations. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
I have to check that out. What did you think about it?
I was cool with it.
Tell me.
Yeah, I know her spirit is around here. You know, like I said, she shows herself. She throws things around here, lets me know she's here.
Have anything else been thrown around? That's what I wanted to know. Like,
Yep, and I still have the little box that she threw when we were on live. I put it right back up where it was.
well, that didn't happen again, right? that was crazy that day.
No, but that was funny to me. I mean, she just like because I
Threw
mean.
it.
She threw it because it was back in the shelf. It had to come out the shelf and then over to land over here in front of me. And then it came out and over here it landed. I'm like, it didn't. If it would have just fell, it would have just fell forward. But it didn't. It was funny. I put it right
And
back.
then that's how I found out she was coming there, because you hadn't even told me that yet. I'm like, what the heck just fell? What's up, Emmanuel? Thank you for coming in.
So she does stuff like that. And my grandson, her second oldest, he'll tell me things happen at his house too.
Really?
Yeah. It's like he'll have stuff sitting up on his little the little bar area from his kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be something that it's not just gonna fall. It's been there forever. And then just all of a sudden it just ends up on the floor. You know. And the same thing here. It's always something, like I said, this particular thing is sitting back in the shelf. So it's not even at the edge of the shelf where it could have just fallen. It's back in the shelf. And
so
then,
how the heck did that even happen? Me and 45 ACP are very aware of our surroundings. You gotta be. Wait. Oh, you're 45?
You see it?
What's the? Oh, it was way behind all that. Oh, it was right there.
Yeah. And it had to come out the shelf to land over here in front of me.
Wow. So you just put it right back where it was at?
I put it right back where it was. So I have these little gold baskets, and I have them sitting over to the side on the stove, and they can't fall. There's nothing to bump them. There's nothing at all. And one day I was sitting here, and they flew across the room over there. And then the other night, this was after her celebration. I think it was that Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, after her celebration. I had got in bed and I was laying down. I got comfortable, and right by my calves, as I'm laying in bed, I can feel the bed go down. And I'm looking around because I'm thinking, okay, the dog or the cat is in here, and I'm looking around, looking around. None of them were in my room. They were all out with the kids in their room. And I lay back down, and I felt it again, and I was like, okay, this is her. Um, and the only reason why I felt that it was her is because Des had a habit of, she always wanted to be next to me. And one of the biggest things she would do would come in and lay down on the bed next to me.
Oh, that's so
So,
sweet.
yeah. So, and especially when she was pregnant. And so you have to understand, well, she was pregnant when this happened,
Yeah.
you know? And the only place she ever wanted to be when she was pregnant was next to me. She could care less about the daddy. She wanted to be next to me.
That's
And that, when I felt that, I was like, okay, that's all right, Des, that's you. Come on, let's go to sleep.
so. Do you feel? I mean, I used to have that experience. It was a different experience, but when it entered the room, I could feel something. So, but you don't feel anything until like you felt something on the bed. Have you ever smelled like a scent and have that music turned on or anything?
Her body spray every now and then.
Smell it? Wow. I've heard that. I've heard people say that before. You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
She had a couple of body sprays that she loved. And every now and then I'll get a whiff of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've heard people tell me they smell cigarettes, and my sister had moved into a house and they found a whole bunch of stuff from people from back in the day, and they was actually seeing those people in the house and stuff.
Yeah.
They ended up getting rid of the stuff and probably did a lot of annoying oil and everything too, but that got rid of the people. But it's people that don't believe this kind of stuff that can happen. I ain't one of them. I've never liked scary movies that show stuff like that because I know it's real. I'm not into scary movies really at all, but I
wasn't a real big believer until after my dad had passed. You know, I kind of questioned it. I wondered.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that I wasn't a believer. It was just that I wondered because I had never experienced it. You know, but when Des's son was little, I think he was probably about 5 or 6, maybe. And we were at my mom's house, and he had came to me and my youngest sister, and he was like telling us about this man he always talked to, and the guy he kept telling us he's an older man, and he's got lots of kids, and he's got lots of pets and things. And we're like, who is this? Who are you talking to? You know, because all of a sudden stranger danger comes to mind to us. Who are you talking to? You know, and so we were sitting there later on, like a day or so later or whatever it was. I don't even remember. But my sister brought out a photo album. Now, mind you, there's no pictures of my dad. There was no pictures of my dad in my mom's house. None. This boy has never even met my father. He was born after my father had passed on. He knows nothing about my dad. Nothing. Never seen him. Nothing. And so as we're sitting there, we're going through this photo album, and a picture of him pops up. My grandson points at the picture. He said, "That's him. That's him. That's my friend. That's my friend." And he sits right there on the couch with a black cat. He'd have never known that. But he pointed exactly to where my dad.
Man, that gave me chills again. The last time you told me that, I was like, hair standing up. Wow.
Yeah,
and it's always the little kids they like to come in through. Oh my God.
And my sister and I, we looked at each other and we're like, well, that's Dad, because Dad always sat right there on the couch right there with his cat. My mom had to get rid of the cat because after my dad passed, the cat mourned so badly over my dad not being there anymore that he was literally getting sick.
Oh, wow.
Have the cat put down. That's how close the cat was to my dad. So,
Wow.
you know, at that point, my sister and I just looked at my grandson and told him, "It's okay, sweetie. That's grandpa. That's your grandpa, your great grandpa. Okay." You know, and I don't know that my dad ever visited him anymore after that. We didn't hear anything else. But to my knowledge, that's the only person my dad came to was my grandson.
Yeah, and then I wonder if he stopped back, I mean, after that, or did your grandson just not tell you no more?
Yeah, I have no idea, but I know he came to him. And I always wondered, I wonder why he came to him. And the other kids, why did he not, come to one of us or whatever, but he went to him.
I wonder why, because like when my cousin passed, my daughter said she came to her, and my daughter was very young when she remember her, but vaguely. You know what I'm saying? But my daughter reminds me of my cousin, and she said she came to her in her dream, and she described what she had on and how she was, because she was a little, perky and fun loving, and she was just like no. She said she was like kind of bright and but I think if I remember correctly, she asked her how was I doing and stuff, and I don't remember what else was talked about, but I took it bad. I took it probably worse than anybody. At least I feel like I did, because I lost 30 pounds in 1 week. By the time her funeral was, I had already lost 30 pounds. That's I mean, she was my first cousin and best friend, and I hadn't lost nobody close to me like that. I mean, I lost my grandfather, but to lose a friend like that, it was devastating. I cried for a whole year.
Yeah.
A whole year. And I mean, I think I just stopped. Like, since I've been on YouTube, I'm able to talk about it without crying. But even like 6 months ago, if I talked about it, I cried. I'm stronger, I think, talking about all these cases and stuff. I don't know.
Well, I know. I prayed and prayed and prayed because I wanted to feel her. I just wanted to feel her again. Then I didn't start feeling anything until after she came out of that ground out there.
Wow. Now that part is amazing to me, that it happened at that moment. Like you hadn't seen nothing before. And now that she's released, it's like, she's like, Mom, thank you. Mom, I'm here. I'm with you. And all that stuff. That is beautiful.
It was like, even when I got the notifications that from Matt that he was live, and and I looked at my phone and I seen California City human remains, and I like clicked it to my TV, and I'm like, I'm just sitting there and I'm looking, and for the first time
you knew it.
Human remains being found throughout the past 10 years of looking for her. Before I would sit there and I'm like, well, I wonder if I'll get that call. I wonder if this is her. But that day, I just looked up at my TV and I was like, this is her. This is her. This is my daughter. And I called Matt and I went out there.
I mean, yeah, when it just brings tears to my eyes. Like, because I remember you saying that before, like, you just knew. It was just that feeling, like.
It was just like, I didn't even question it. It was like, this is her. This is her. And even though they didn't tell me when I went out there, what they said was, matter of fact, the detectives in there, they didn't even tell me that they found human remains when I went out there. They didn't tell me till I left.
Why? They thought you was gonna go crazy.
They probably did.
Yeah.
So they didn't tell me while I was there. They waited until I left and I was with family, and then that's when they told me. But when I was out there, you know, they made the comment that they have the suspect that they have credible evidence on him, this and that. You know, they made it perfectly clear that it had nothing to do with the boys, and that the people that lived in the house had nothing to do with any of this. And I was like, I understand. I said, please let them know I'm so sorry.
And shout out to Matt and Apple.
You know, yeah, that they're going through this. I'm sorry. But at the same time, I'm knowing that that's my daughter back there.
No, I said shout out to them.
Yeah.
To Matt and Apple.
Exactly. And so then when I left from out there, I had got to my sister's house, and that's when the detective called me, and he had asked me, he said, are you with family? And I said, yes, I just arrived at my sister's. He said, okay. He said, I wanted to let you know that we did find human remains. But, you know, we have to do the DNA confirmed. And so he said, and I also wanted to let you know that we made an arrest. And I was like, thank you. Thank you. So within hours, they had him under surveillance the whole time. So they were not going to let him get away.
Woo!
You know? And
so you know the exact time frame that the people like when the guys seen the 10th anniversary, what was the time between that, the 10th anniversary and the day they actually went and looked? You know?
I don't know the exact timeline because they never told me exactly when the guys came forward. I just know that I was told that they saw me on the news. And that's what made him break down and come forward again. And
I just want to say this too, because I say this all the time, like it takes family to get to fight for your family, because that's what tugs at the people's heartstrings. Mine, I'm going to speak for me. When I see a family member, a mother, a father out there fighting for their kid, that's what reels me in. So thank God you were still out there talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what brought him. See, Mama brought him to justice, and you told her you would.
So, it wasn't until, because no matter what it seemed like no matter what I did, her story wasn't getting out there enough. But when everything happened with the boys, I broke down crying because I was like, these are two innocent babies out here. You know, this is the same freaking town that took my daughter. You know, and my heart was just broken. And and I'm reading comments in the different YouTube chats and different posts that were being done, and I'm like, I had to start commenting, and I just told them, look, please, whatever you do, don't put all your faith and trust in CCPD. This is why. I'm telling you why I'm telling you this. You know, because I didn't want to think I was some kind of just dumb lunatic trying to stop law enforcement from doing their jobs or anything. I wanted them to understand that they're not doing their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a
person of gang for real,
right? And if you're a person of color, they really don't give a damn.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't. Let me just put it out there. I call a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying? So, that's how we ended up getting close, and then I started going on the different YouTube channels, and I mean, there's a couple. There was one that I went on. After I saw the true colors of that person,
I remember. I remember when all this stuff happened. I used to be over there with you. I mean, I was like really following the boys' case really close. That was the the first case I got into deep since I have been on YouTube. I think I was on YouTube like 6 months before that happened.
Yeah.
And
This
you
particular
was
lady,
always on Nina Boys all the time. And then I did start seeing you go other places. And then next thing I know, a little bit later, like y'all all connected. I was so happy when I seen that. Because even though you was there, it's like the focus was still the boys, but we was hearing what you was saying. And I didn't know the full story for a little bit. Then I was like, whoa, like.
yeah. And then, that's also when the media started reaching out to me about Des's story, because now they're seeing connection with Cal City. But it's like I always told them, it's not just my daughter. There's 7 other cases besides my daughter out here. So I'm not just fighting for my daughter. I'm fighting for the whole, the children, the other 7 cases besides my daughter. These cases need to be solved, and that's when, my daughter's case just basically blew up, and it started getting the media and things, but I'm a true believer that God put us all where we needed to be at the right time.
Yep.
Process of elimination. Like I said, I was on other people's channel. This one lady's channel that I was on, I'm not gonna put her out there on blast. She was good to me, but at the end of the day, I started seeing things that I didn't like. I don't do drama.
Right.
I don't do all that backbiting. I don't do all of that. That's not me. I protect my peace, and I remove myself, and that's exactly what I did. I just removed myself, and I didn't have anything else to do with that. I don't, to this day, Keith and Ro and Jennifer, they'll let you know, I don't do drama. And I get very ugly when my peace becomes disturbed because of somebody trying to draw me into unnecessary.
You sound like me. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Because, got time for that.
Like this. I'm 64 years old. I don't have time for it. I done been in survival mode all my life. And I just don't have time for it. And right now is really not the time for any kind of drama with anybody or about anything. This is about my daughter. This is about 2 little boys. And anybody else who's missing a child or had a murdered child or a loved one or whatever. This isn't about
Now I know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
These are people's lives being affected.
Yeah. By
unnecessary violence, And if there's a way that I can take my daughter's story and help the next person, then I'm gonna do what I can.
That's exactly what I was about to ask you. Have you I know the trial, you got the trial to go and all of that stuff, but I know you got the podcast plans and stuff. But have you thought about getting a foundation or doing anything like that?
I have talked to my oldest grandson about it, and so we are discussing it. We don't know yet which way we're gonna go, what we plan on actually doing, but yeah, I hope to soon. I'm awesome. really want to do something. I'll never let her name disappear. Her name will always be out there. As long as I got breath in my body, people will know who she is.
Do you see what Miss Day is doing for Jelani Day? Like they just did she got a foundation and she's going to be helping young Black males go to school to be a doctor if they want to go for the same thing that he went for, and just help mothers that's in similar situations, because when you go through this, people, unless you follow crime, you don't know nothing. Like Miss Day didn't know anything, so she want to help other mothers that don't have help either, you know, with funds, with whatever, however, you know.
Yeah, I think
Just like you already did. You already helped somebody. Connect them with that advocacy group that you work with. So I mean,
yeah. So it's like my podcast is supposed to be surrounded by as far as domestic violence, the pain of dealing with the missing, the children of the missing.
mm-hmm.
How to try to focus and help them and keep them stable and whatnot. So it's like it all goes together. Because at the end of the day, my daughter's story started with domestic violence.
Yeah.
It ended it.
That's how my cousin died. Domestic violence.
Yeah. And it ended in murder. No, it wasn't her husband, but at the same time, it still ended in murder. So, and then I was really also thinking about suicide too, because my nephew committed suicide 2 years ago in September.
My gosh. What?
So,
I didn't realize it was in September.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot. And so on my sister that's in Israel, and it was her son that committed suicide. My brother-in-law, his dad, he now has a podcast in Israel regarding suicide and helping families get through the suicide. Yeah. So I mean, it's like one connects to the other, connects to the other. And if everybody just shows some kind of kindness and care and concern for the next person, this place would be a better world.
Wouldn't it though? Yeah.
I just want that's what I really help other people. I'm the type of person, I don't like to see nobody in pain. I don't. I'm a compassionate person. I
mean, to be honest, you came right in as an advocate, really, because you was telling us everything about Cow City and how they was treating your case and just putting everybody on game. Like, hold on, we need to be looking at this and not this, because people just think that these folks be doing their jobs.
I was saying at the very, very beginning of the boys' case, I kept telling everybody, I said, this is going to be deeper than anybody can possibly think of. And I still say that. I stand by those words. When everything comes out on this case with the boys, everybody is going to be freaking devastated.
I already know.
I'm feeling it in my gut. I'm feeling it in my gut.
I do know. It's devastating.
There's an evilness that I don't know if everybody's ready for it. Behind
Jennifer Novos.
And honestly, it's not even just with these two babies. This goes beyond that. There's so many missing children out there.
In Cali, or you mean just everywhere?
There's too many missing children out there.
It is. It's a lot of missing adults lately, which makes me. I mean, I just wonder where they all at? Where they putting them at? What they doing with them? Like, is it a warehouse with a bunch of them just there? Are they?
No, that could be very well possible. But at this time, if it had anything to do with trafficking, them babies could be anywhere in this world by now. We wouldn't know. That's the sad part about it, because on these cases, that was the one thing that I worried me with my daughter's case, because that first 72 hours is the most freaking important time frame in finding them. But come to find out, well, we're sitting up there thinking the baby at that time, now we know not, but at that time, everybody's thinking, okay, the babies came up missing on December 20th. Well, now we find out they've been missing.
Did they say, like, October or wait, they gave a date, right? Didn't they?
If I'm not mistaken, and Jennifer, I'll see you in there. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was September is when they said, but I think it's before then. I honestly think it was before then.
Wow, man.
Just just don't know. It's like they were so.
I'm just trying to figure out why ain't more people in jail, because some people lied and said they had them at Christmas time, right? So how ain't somebody else arrested?
So okay, on that aspect, Trezel's mother and his half brother, the one up in Washington, that works for the NAACP, they said that they saw the babies in November at Thanksgiving. So now you guys are caught up in a lie because you did not freaking see them.
Exactly.
You did not see. So you lying.
Yeah.
They were already gone. Now DA already said they were missing before then if they were missing in September, well, you surely didn't see them at Thanksgiving.
I mean, when they did the press conference though, and the family was like, "Where's the boys at?" Like why they ain't, why they have to go away or something like that. And he was like, "Well, they're with grandparents. They're on vacation. They with grandparents or something like that for the holiday." He said something like that at the press conference.
Honestly, I really, really, really this is just deep. And I think it goes deeper into the
1 million a year, 60? What?
This involves a lot. This whole thing just involves a lot of people, and those two are extremely. I don't understand how they were ever allowed to have children. Period. They shouldn't even have their own children.
It's all about the money, and you got to question the people they learned from, allegedly. Like,
I was going to say the whole freaking family.
Arrest everybody. Like, didn't they say that they was with the grandparents? I know they said that. Oh, they said the other kids was with the grandparents, I think, or on vacation.
If you ask me, every last one of them family members, her side, his side, and in between, they all need to be in jail. Somebody gonna tell something.
Yeah, it should be more arrests, because there's no way they didn't know. How even if, okay, I remember him now saying that the other kids was with the grandparents on vacation or something else. First he said vacation, then said that the grandparents, and the bio family was asking why did they go on vacation and they had to stay at home basically by themselves and leave them outside. So did the grandparents validate that? Did they say, oh yeah, we had the kids? So they didn't question where the other kids was at? The other kids come on, man.
Their story when they did their little interview had so many holes in it. None of what they said made any sense. First of all, it's December. It's cold as I don't know what. You got 2 children and you got what, a 3-4 bedroom house? You could have waited to wrap presents, as they said, which was, from what I understand, was only 2 presents, but you got 8 or 6 kids, and there's only 2 presents?
Wow, that's crazy to me. It never made sense. You could have waited till they were asleep. Could have put them in the
Yeah, you could have waited to wrap those presents when the babies were asleep, or you could put them in the bedroom to play.
They could have wrapped those presents 5 minutes before they was gonna open them if it was 2.
Thank you.
The hell out of here, man.
Exactly. So I mean, just nothing that they said, their mannerisms, nothing. I've watched that video over and over and over, and it made my skin crawl because there was no emotions, No urgency, no nothing. Absolutely
Nothing but guilt. I mean, you could tell they was lying. Anybody could tell that. I mean, they was defensive. They wasn't concerned. They was stuttering over their words. Like, gone. Get out of here.
I said, these people are freaking lying. Everything they're saying, they're lying. And then when they got to the part of when he said when it played out, and Matt, like, he shut his whole video down. And at that moment, I had chills that went across my body. I said, these people are lying. Who the heck says something like that? That
Wait,
was like
which part?
when he said when it all played out. And
Oh,
man. When what played out? You know,
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I'm like, I said, oh my God, these people have
They're
done
gonna be
something.
rambunctious, and they're gonna be in the area. That let us know. Don't look over in this area. They somewhere else. Where the hell did you put them at? Shout out to you, Brian Land.
And who the hell is gonna? Who in the hell refers to their children as rambunctious? And then when they go, when he says he went around the corner and looking for them, and he asked the guy, "Have you seen two little black boys?" What the hell? That's how you
That makes sense, man. I just wish they could have arrested them sooner, but I guess they was trying to crack the case. You know, they was working on it. I guess sometimes they just take way longer than we want them to. Like, dang, some cases.
Disturbing. That was just disturbing to me. That whole interview.
But then, I mean, then, you know, the whole thing about the house and just all the stuff that the person whose house they bought said about them and how shady they was. Like, why is all these people pulling all these strings? I can't wait until this trial starts so we can see who else needs to go to jail.
Me too, because first of all, he was, from what I understand, he had a dishonorable discharge. There should have never been any children in his home. Not any foster children or adopted children. You know, I mean, their own children. You know, you can't stop that. But foster children and adopted, being able to adopt, they should not have been allowed to. Second of all, they didn't even have jobs.
Right.
So how the hell are you supposed to? You didn't have a home. I mean, come on. I mean, you know, Castelloma. Come on. No, it's not.
Right. They was living in what, a 3-bedroom apartment with 6 kids or something?
2-bedroom apartment they were in.
Huh?
I think it was a 2-bedroom apartment they were in.
With 6 kids.
I don't see how you can, if they're renting an apartment, how are you allowing them to adopt any freaking children or foster? They don't
because that's not supposed to be your only income.
Right. And they don't even have jobs. So how are you able to foster children? You don't even have a freaking job.
That's what they saying, Tracy.
So, you know, there's a lot of red flags here. A lot of red flags. So, I just.
But that is it true? I mean, I didn't read the reports or nothing. Is that part is true, right?
What?
That they made the kids do something? They made the other kids do something?
That's from my understanding that one or a couple of the children, I guess, they made them do something. I don't know what it was, though.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I mean, because when they say somebody is deceased, that's because they know for a fact. It's usually because they got some type of evidence to prove that.
But the problem here is, where's the bodies?
Right. Where are they?
Where are they? That's the biggest question right now. Where are they? And I'm praying that one of them decides to give it up.
I think whatever happened probably happened over there where they was burning stuff, van seats and all that kind of stuff. I mean, what other reason would they do that for? But at the same time, you would think that those people would already be in custody if they had something to do with it.
And I just feel like there's just a lot to this case, and I think there's a lot to this case that's being tiptoed around and covered up and whatever. Because I believe it is larger than what we think it is. Just like I said in the beginning. So, I'll just be glad when everything does come out, and all the evilness is revealed and everybody is held accountable. Every single last person held accountable. I don't care what part they had anything to do with these children being missing and
alone.
Yes. Then they need to be held accountable.
And all of them was guilty, not posting. You worked for the NAACP or whatever, allegedly, and you didn't allegedly post or say anything about them. Like all of that.
Exactly. I wonder how he still got his job with all this going on.
Right. I just wonder. That's why I'm like, who do these people know? Like, it just felt like the whole town was behind it. Even the people that was donating the money, some of them.
I really don't even know. I just have the feeling that there's just so much to this case, that it's really complicated in a sense. And I know that I'm quite sure they're still investigating things as well. Just like my DA is still investigating things, because it is deeper than we think. And they have to go through and they have to turn over every stone and analyze every little piece of everything they get, But what's done in the dark always comes to the light.
Don't it though? That's for dang on sure. It will prevail.
It really will. And I'm just praying that anybody and everybody that has their hands in anything to do with these two babies, that they get what's coming to them.
I pray that they are found.
I'm praying they're found too.
I mean,
found alive, but if they're not, I'm still praying that they're found, and that at least we can bring them home and give them a proper, send off.
They have so much time. They could be anywhere.
That's what I said.
So much time.
If they're still alive, and if the case is that maybe they were trafficked or whatever, they could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
They could be anywhere. And I'm praying
my mind just believes that they know that they are no longer here. But like Keith said, until she sees somebody, she ain't listening at that. But in my mind, they don't say that unless they got evidence that that's what happened.
Right.
What that evidence is, I don't know. It got to be more than just hearsay.
And I'm sure they probably do.
You know what? Oh, but no, as a matter of fact, that's what me and Keish was talking about, because I thought about the Felicia Johnson case where she went missing in Houston. They actually had the guy that did it. He had all this evidence in his car. He went to the hospital because he cut himself. He dismembered her and all of that stuff. And you know how we know that? Because he took pictures. And they said they found the bodies of 3 other victims in this man's phone. They told us that. They not telling us nothing with this case. But the thing is, they let that guy go. And he was an African guy, and he gone. Like, they still ain't caught him. This months ago. Still ain't caught. They had him. Let him go for whatever reason. And now he done disappeared. But he went to the hospital. Because guarantee, anytime you deal with a knife, you gonna cut yourself. Ain't no way around it.
Yep. Yep.
It.
So I just want to see justice be served to the highest capacity on both of these cases. There is a long time coming for both of them. These babies should have been protected, and they weren't.
Nope, they should have been with their mother.
They should have
And
been with their
Bella
mother.
said, was this some sort of sick sacrifice of those two boys? I don't know. I think it was about money. But then again, I mean, that's what I think. They got involved in the whole thing for the money. But then that's the part that didn't make sense. Why would they do this to them?
I believe that the whole foster care, all this with the foster children, I believe that was all about money. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They didn't give a doggone about them children at all. You know, I don't even think they really.
There's so much going on with that system.
They obviously didn't care about their own damn children, trying to get the children involved in what they were doing. So
right. And then for that mother to come forth like, my kids is with them, and then we later find out allegedly it may be her kids. It's just hard to talk about because it's kids, you know. That's why I ain't mess with it. I haven't did like no live about nothing because I don't know enough, and it's sick to think that these babies had to do something like that.
Two innocent babies. It's like it kills me, you know.
They had them for a while, Bella. I don't know if they got tired, if they thought they could get rid of them and still collect the check. But they that's what it's looking like. I mean, but it don't make sense if it was about the money. But I don't know. But then all the liquor bottles and stuff they said they found in his garbage, it ain't no telling what was going on in the house.
I mean, first of all, they showed on the interview that they didn't give. They didn't care because there was no emotion. And then shortly after that, they're seen at some sex store buying sex toys and shit. I'm like, I
got that video. Yep, I recorded all that stuff. Like, I mean, I got everything that was happening in this case.
They're concerned about these two children. And see, they didn't care, and they didn't have any care and concern about the children because they already knew what happened to them.
Exactly. That's why they wasn't no sense of urgency. Wasn't no tomorrow. I burnt. What he said. I turned a bunch of corners. I just wanted to punch him in his nose real quick. And then them face masks. They need to not. They shouldn't even let people in court wear face masks because that's hiding them. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's protecting them or something.
Because even when I go in the courtroom, now, one judge that we went in front of last time, but I still couldn't see this idiot's face. He didn't require us to wear masks in there. But any other time we've been in the courtroom with this animal, he's had the mask on. But he sits in the courtroom like, he don't care. It's like he's on a trip to Disneyland or something. He's just like looking around. He don't care.
Wow.
And
he does he even speak English? Just a little bit of English? You said it was a barrier, speech barrier.
I don't know how much English he speaks, but it had, you know, if all of a sudden, you know, we have an interpreter in the room, you know, in the courtroom, then that's meaning that there's a speech barrier because my daughter didn't speak Spanish, and obviously you don't speak English. So
wait a minute, I thought. I'm getting confused.
If you can't speak English, you could not have offered her a ride and a drink.
Right. That's true.
Miss me with that one.
Yeah, he need to tell the truth. How did they come about each other? Just tell the truth, dude.
You know, I had this conversation with with a friend of mine. The lady I work for, her husband this morning.
Mhm.
They're like family to me, very close people. But that's what I told him. I said, well, that now all of a sudden it's a language barrier. We got an interpreter in there. How was he gonna communicate to her? Offering a ride and a beer, but yet you're sitting in this courtroom acting like you don't understand no damn English.
Cause he don't want to speak no English right now. He want to act like he don't understand.
Habla español. So okay, what? She don't either. You don't understand English. She don't habla Spanish.
So how did this happen?
How did this
Or
happen?
pretending like he can't speak or understand English. Yep.
You lying. You lied to the informant because like I said, he only plays it. He has amnesia when it comes to after he got put out the party. There's amnesia there when my daughter comes into the picture. We don't know what happened, but you sure knew what happened when you told them all these people, the people in the bar, when you told the informants what you did.
What
You
year
remember?
was that? Do you know what year he allegedly told them or did tell them? Because that's why his ass locked up.
It had to be 2012 because that's when she came in missing in 2012, and that's when the letter went to the police station. So,
Oh, okay.
allegedly.
Yeah.
So, he I don't know. It just bothers me that you sit up here and play dumb. You might as well just save the taxpayers some money, go on and confess because you already know what they have on you.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I just hope that he be truthful. Like,
Yeah. Why
people
continue?
always play dumb to their actions.
Why continue to put me and my family through all of this? When you know what the hell you did, you know what the hell they have on you. You're not gonna get out of it. So why even try? Why even try?
Yeah, they got you now. Dude, just confess.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they like to gloat and you know what I'm saying? At this point, just tell it. Like you said, he had that thing like it was a freaking trophy. So he remembered every single thing that happened. I mean, who would forget that anyway? Who would do it? But who would forget it?
Right. He conveniently remembers it when he wants to and tells the whole story, but the story doesn't change. That's the key part. The story doesn't change, from what I understand. Everyone that was told the story has got the same story. And
but you don't believe it. But you don't believe his story. So he telling the same story that he done made himself believe.
Right. But at the same time, that same story led to them finding my daughter.
Well, yeah. Some parts that's that half truths. He told some truths and some lies.
The part that ain't true is the part of him getting her in that car and offering her a beer.
Right. That's the thing. Who was he protecting? Maybe somebody else was involved in the first part of it.
They're saying he did this solely by himself. So because I questioned that. I said there had to be somebody else. There had to be somebody else. He couldn't have done this by himself with her being as big as she was. But they're like, no, he did this by himself. All by himself.
I wonder why they're so confident in that. They didn't know a damn thing at first, but now they know everything.
Yeah, it took them all night to dig the grave.
Did it really? Wow.
He told the informants he was digging out there until the sun came up.
Oh, him all night. I thought you were talking about the people because I'm like, it was still daytime when I thought, okay, him, yeah. He probably was using a little old shovel, like.
The forensics stayed out there all night because they gonna try to go sift and go through every little thing they possibly can to get all the evidence that they need on him, because this case they were not gonna let go any further. But I'm gonna tell
Yes.
you this. I still, I'm thankful for Brandenburg. I'm thankful for Walker. Um, but at the same time, I truly believe that this case would not have gotten where it is now if the petition that was sent to Department of Justice hadn't have went through, and they were actually out there investigating at the time when all this happened. Earlier in the year is
Hmm.
when these guys came forward, because the beginning of January, when January came in, that's when I told you I declared justice for the boys and my daughter for this year.
Yes. Yes, y'all did. That just gave me chills again.
Yeah, and so Department of Justice was out there at the beginning of the year. Matt had called me and told me, "Look, they're out there investigating now." I said, "Okay, good." So then you have the uh grand jury come out on the Boyce's case. Well, all these little corrupt cops that are sitting out there can't do their little dirt while you got the Department of Justice and you got grand jury out there doing their investigation. So at this point, it made it to where Brandenburg could really focus and do his job. Now this information comes in because what? These guys see me on TV again.
Yeah.
They see me on TV after they've sent this letter. Now we're 10 years later, and they see me on TV still pleading for my daughter. See my daughter's picture up there. Now they come forward because they ultimately know that letter that they sent, something is not right.
Hmm.
I don't know what these men thought, but they came forward again, and thank God they did. Um,
Yes.
and then so now I claimed justice in January. Um, Giselle and Jacqueline were arrested on March 1st, and my daughter was found on March 25th. And her murderer
That
was
ain't nothing
arrested.
but God, man. Nothing but God. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Freaking amazing. Now, what was the petition?
The petition was because we couldn't get them to do anything on these cases. It's just as
Oh,
we,
how many signatures did y'all get for that? Or you
you know,
remember?
I'd have to ask Kyle, but we put it online. We put it on. Kai had put it on Facebook, and we just started passing it out. Please sign it. Just kept sharing it, and getting signatures. The Department of Justice ended up out there
That's amazing. I didn't wait. So wait, the petition was for the boys or Desiree?
for all of us.
For both, all of them. And because of that petition, they end up doing what?
They ended up going out there and investigating.
Really? I didn't even know. The boys?
When the when we put in the petition for the Department of Justice, because what we were trying to do is we're trying to make it aware there's corruption out there. We need them to be investigated because these cases are not being taken care of properly, and this involves all the 8 cases, my daughter, the other 7, and the boys. This needs to be investigated. They're not doing their jobs. But right after that, or I think it was right before, right after is when I think it was right before Department of Justice is when Bakersfield took over. So Bakersfield had taken over.
Sheri, you don't have to. I was gonna say you can keep talking. I gotta walk away for a minute.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I believe that I truly believe that the Department of Justice and the grand jury was one main reason why my daughter's case was able to be done, along with the fact that the informants came forward. But it allowed the detective to actually do his job because of all the corruption out there. We already know that at one point, John Walker had fired 3 crooked cops out there, and the mayor hired him back. And then he fired him again, and she hired him back again. And so after that, he put in his resignation. So it's like fighting a losing battle out there in California City. The police department only has 13 sworn-in officers, including the police chief. So, but I was tired of listening to excuses, because I feel like if you have that many cases of missing and murdered people in your little bitty town, if you don't have the knowledge or the resources to take care of the cases, then you need to get somebody in there who can. And they weren't wanting to do that. And I believe that my daughter's case was sitting on somebody's desk for years, not being touched, not being looked at, because anytime anything was said, oh, we haven't gotten any more tips. Well, are you even looking? When I gave them her husband, they didn't even go talk to him. To this day, they ain't talked to him. So, and I know where he's at now. They just weren't doing their job, and that was my biggest worry with the boys' case, because Cal City don't care. They told Detective Brandenburg that they weren't going to worry about the dead ones; they'd worry about the live ones. So that meant they didn't give 2 cares about my daughter or the other deceased out there. So I just don't trust them. I trust Brandenburg, but I don't. The rest of them, I don't trust them out there in Cal City. It's a very corrupt town. The town was built on corruption, and I don't like that town. I don't like that town at all. It kills me to even have to go out there in that town for anything. And my daughter's son lives out there.
Yeah, that's a dang on shame that guy said that to you.
Yeah. They she told Brandenburg, we're not gonna worry about the dead ones, we'll worry about the live ones. How do you take and not Brandenburg, but O'Quinn is who she told it to. And O'Quinn told her at that time, he was like, well, you tell that to the families of these missing.
Yeah, and I wonder, would she say that if it was hers?
Yeah. Well, I told them when I went in there and I gave them my daughter's husband's information of where he was. I told the detective then, when he told me, well, the warrant expired and he's no longer on parole. And I'm just standing there looking at him like, what the hell? I said, well, I said, if this was your child, you'd have every law enforcement agency out here looking for your child. My child is black. You don't excuse my language, you don't care. I said, my daughter is everything to me. She's not indispensable. Her life matters.
I know if y'all can see me or not.
No, I don't.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Because I'm like, my phone had just powered all the way or went all the way off. Thank you, Kathy B, for the super sticker. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, so I just that knowing that when all this happened with the boys, and all these other families out here fighting for their missing and murdered, out of the 8, there's 2 that they couldn't find family members for, I believe. I know 1 for sure. I think it was 2. But Deveree's case still isn't solved either. And I talked to her mom because her Brandenburg had told me he sent the case to the DA on that. I was talking to her mom not too long ago, and her mom told me that it was sent to the DA, but the DA ended up sending it back to them, and I don't know why, because supposedly, from what I was told and to understand, that there was DNA they got out from underneath Deveree's fingernails, you know, and they've had that evidence all these years. But the thing is, the person whom they believe murdered Desiree is an ex-boyfriend, and right now he's already in jail on, I believe, 2 other murder cases.
Whoa! Well, then it ain't no mystery that he might have done that.
Yeah. Well, Brandenburg told me when I had mentioned it to him about, you know, I really wanted to see that case solved as well, and he said that's when he told me that he had sent it to the DA's office. Well, he told me then, he said, look, the guy that we think it is, he said he's not a person that needs to be out in society. He's a very, very bad, dangerous person.
What, talking about
Deveree's murderer.
Oh, wow. I mean,
he didn't tell me that this guy was already in jail. Her mother told me that this guy was already in jail on 2 other murder cases he's fighting. Yeah.
Okay, so did they not test under her fingernails?
I don't know what they did with that DNA, because supposedly the DNA, to my knowledge, they still have the DNA, but it had never been tested. And then when Brandenburg had told me that her case to the DA, I talked to Deveree's mom, and she told me, she said, well, the case was sent back to Brandenburg, and I can't remember what she said. I guess they wanted more or something on the case. But how could you want more? There's already DNA. I mean, come on. But then that's also when she told me that the guy that they suspect that murdered her is in jail already on 2 different murder cases. So.
Well, how long have he been locked up?
I don't know.
Because I don't remember you telling me this part before. I thought.
I found this out in the past, in about the last month or 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I had her mom had.
Thank you, Kathy.
Her mom had messaged me one day, and that's when I had mentioned that Brandenburg said that he had sent it to the DA, and she was like, "What?" Like, she was surprised, and then when I explained to her, she said, "Oh no," she said, "Yeah, the DA sent it back."
Wow, man! Didn't you say her mom is sick?
Yeah, she has a brain tumor.
Huh?
She has a brain tumor.
Oh man! Wow.
She's about to stick around.
Wait, how big around?
She's about this for my camera. About that big around. She's
wow.
tiny. Very sick. I would love to see her get justice for her daughter before something happens to her. You know.
Yeah. I'd like to see that too. And if they already got the guy, just figure it out and let it be that.
Yeah. You know? I mean, it's just murder added to his case. Obviously, we know he's a murderer. He's in there for 2 murders. Come on now.
Exactly. And then you got a missing girlfriend? Like, come on, that's a no-brainer.
She wasn't missing. They found her. She was in the park dead, strangled to death.
Strangulation is a freaking passion, crime of passion.
Yep. And the sad part about it, so she was found in the park in Cal City by children.
Oh my God. Didn't you say they took pictures or something?
Yes.
The mother took pictures?
Yes, the mom took pictures.
And put them on social media?
Yep.
I thought I remembered you saying
they had to made her take them down or something. But yeah, how insensitive can you freaking be?
I mean, come on.
Yeah, our mom, and Deveree's mom lived right across the street where they found her. From where they found her.
What? Oh, wow. Damn.
Yep. Yep. So, you know, that's a crazy case too. They have another case out there where the guy was out there. He came up to spend the night or weekend or whatever it was with his girlfriend that he'd only been with for like about 3 months, and he winds up dead in the bed next to her. How did she not know that he was being stabbed to death next to her? You can't.
You know what? I remember hearing something like that. What case was this again?
It's a young man. I'd have to look up his name, but he didn't live. He didn't live up there. He didn't live in Cal City. But he met this girl, and they had been dating for like 3 months, and he had went up there to, you know, go spend some time with her. And he was murdered in the bed next to her. He was sleeping.
What?
Right next to him. How do you not know that somebody's in there stabbing him to death while you stand right next to him? You can't convince me you didn't know who this person was.
No.
Or you had something to do with it.
Okay, did she get locked up?
Not that I know of. Nobody's been locked up on that case that I know of.
Wow, that's insane.
Another cold case.
It just sounds like they don't be investigating enough.
And there was another one out there. There was another one out there of a young man that came up missing, and then they found him, but he was dismembered. Sound familiar?
Wow. That was recent or back? When was that?
I want to say that was before my daughter, but there's so many of them that I don't know. I'd have to look them up to find all the dates on them. But you could look them up and find it's Cal City 8. Cal City missing and murdered. That's all you got to. You can Google it and find it.
I think I didn't know the details because some YouTube channel had put together a good video about the boys and other missing people, but they didn't give like details of what happened.
Yeah. Detective O'Quinn was out there working on the cases first, and we actually had a balloon release and stuff like that. And we all went out there, and there was, quite a few people had came, family and things.
There's a mosquito in here. I hate bugs. There's a mosquito in here.
Oh.
I just thought you should know that. Y'all should all know that. I guess.
Yeah, so they that's actually there's actually a clip on some stuff with that too. Different cases, but even he spoke wrong on my daughter's case in that on that video because he said that my daughter was taken by gunpoint by her husband, and that was never said. He never took her at gunpoint. He held a gun to her face in the apartment.
Well, who said that he did it? Who switched the story around?
when Detective O'Quinn was giving that information on those 8 cases, at one point was being videoed, and he mentioned that my daughter's case, that she was taken in front of her 4 children at gunpoint, and that's not what happened. That's not at all what happened. Matter of fact, the only child that was there that day was my granddaughter, and the boys were with me, and she wasn't taken at gunpoint. He busted in the door and put the gun to her face, but he never took her out of that house. She left on her own out of that house after he was long gone.
That to me, that is the wildest, one of the wildest parts about it, is that everything pointed to him. I mean, all this happened in the same day, like,
yeah, within a 24-hour period of time.
That's crazy, man.
You know, and then
you escape a situation and run into one.
Right. He naturally, he ended up, running off. So that made himself look guilty.
Yeah.
He did not once look for my daughter. Nothing. He didn't come forward and turn himself in so that they could move on to somebody else. Had he had done that, yes, he probably would have went to jail that night for domestic violence. And then because my daughter was already missing, and they couldn't question her on the domestic violence, so they couldn't get him for domestic violence if they don't have a victim. So who's to say if he would have went to jail behind it? You know what I'm saying? But they could have eliminated him from being the person of interest. We could have moved on to looking for somebody else.
But see, that's still the part that don't make sense to me. Like, how this, it just, in my mind, I want to involve him still. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did that even happen?
It's like I told the detective, I said, at the end of the day, I still hold him accountable for his part. No, he didn't kill her. I get that. But had he not done what he did that night, had he not have put that gun to her face, had there not have been domestic violence and him kicking in the door and doing everything that he did that night?
But honestly, for real, I mean, he would have been one of the last people to talk to her, though. I mean, he probably could still shed some light. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you said that she had called you and found out he called, and then you gave her the number and she talked to him. So he knows some things that might help this case.
Right. And I told, I told the detectives, I know my daughter. And my gut is telling me that when her and I got off the phone, she spoke to her husband. What happened after that? I don't know.
Right. Where did she tell him she was at? Where was she going? What, like, I bet you he knows something.
But this DA still wants to talk to her husband.
He need to be talked to.
But the problem with this is, and I understand where she's coming from, they don't want to give any slightest doubt to the jury.
Oh.
They don't want
this guy. So he could have been the one to give her to him or something.
No doubt. They already know that they have the right person. So they don't really they want to talk to him, but they don't want to really have him present.
I see what you're saying.
See, we don't want to give them a reason to not believe that this is what this man, even though all the evidence is showing that this man did this and he didn't,
I know, but the only thing I'm questioning is what you're questioning. How the hell did he get her in the car? And that's the part that made me think somebody else was involved.
Yeah.
How did he run across her? How did, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did she just happen to be there at this time that, like.
And unfortunately, that might be a question that never freaking gets answered. We may never know that part.
Yeah.
You know, we may never know unless somebody seen him putting her in that car, seen him do something to her to get her in that car, and they come forward and say something. He's gonna go to his grave with that one because the
Yeah.
only thing being said is what what he told the informants, and that they can only go by what the informants were told, and whatever
Yeah.
other information they got from anybody else. So, unless somebody comes forward and seen what he did to get her in that vehicle, and even at this point, kidnapping or whatever, that's irrelevant to the murder case.
Yeah, that's true. That
When
is true, but still, like,
murder, that's what's gonna hold. The
yeah.
kidnapping
I mean,
is not, well, it's not that it's irrelevant, you know what I'm saying, but the key thing is the murder, the first degree murder.
yeah, that's the bigger charge, and that's what they want. But at the same time, you want to make sure everybody that may be involved is in it. But I mean, because why? I mean, the part that don't make sense to me is the husband acting guilty. Why did he act guilty if he wasn't?
Right.
Why
Well,
did he have a whole role like that?
okay, so he did that. The only logical reason I have is because when he caught the domestic violence case with my daughter that he was in prison for and on parole for, the judge told him then if he came back in, he was looking at 25 minimum. So you have to think in his mind, okay, there was domestic violence that night. He pulled a gun on her. He also pulled a knife on her that I found out later from, but he didn't use the gun on her. He didn't use the knife on her. His friend in the house.
What
So
happened?
the judge told him that if he got caught in another case of domestic violence, he was looking at 25. So you have to figure that night there was domestic violence. He used a gun. He's a convict. On parole. There was a knife that was brought out. And so that's what he's thinking about. Oh man, I screwed up. I done flipped out on her, so there's domestic violence. I had a gun. That's another violation. There's another violation. You know what I'm saying? So he's thinking about that and the 25 that he was looking at if he got caught on this case. So he ran. He kept running. And like I said, he had turned himself in, would he have done some time? I don't know. Because at that point, she was already freaking missing. And if you don't have a witness, how are they going to convict him of domestic violence or anything else besides what the young lady that was sitting in the house knew? His homeboy wasn't going to snitch on him. So it's her against them. My daughter wasn't there to defend herself or to say what happened because he was already missing. So I know he's probably been wondering too, seeing how he actually ain't the one that did it. But I don't, he ain't off the hook as far as I'm concerned, because I feel like if he hadn't acted an idiot and did what he did, my daughter would have been at home. She would have been in the street. And unfortunate, probably would have been somebody else that night and not her. So I don't know, but Kathy B, I don't know if it was a three strike, but it could have been possible because he had priors before my daughter too. of domestic violence. So he had a history, and I didn't know before he even married my daughter that he had domestic violence on his record. I didn't know nothing about it until after it started happening to my daughter.
Thanks for holding it down, Sheri. My phone acted a complete fool when I went in the store.
Oh, no problem.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dr. RBH. What was you saying?
Yeah, so Kathy B and asked, was it a
Street
strikes? But I mean, he had priors. His ex-wife was a victim of domestic violence. But the funny part is, he's in Texas right now, and his ex-wife is out there in Texas, and his son is out there in Texas with him.
What?
Yeah.
She got back with him?
I don't know if they're together, but she out there in Texas with him.
Whoa.
His mama, his sister, his daddy, his daddy the preacher, and his daddy's the one that gave him the gun.
Wow.
You knew that your son was on parole and was not supposed to have a gun in his possession. Why would you give it to him? Even if it was a family heirloom, why would you give it to him?
Yeah, Pastor Daddy. Why would you?
But they're all out there. Cousins, all of them. They're all out there in Texas. I got pictures of them.
Wow, this is newer information, right? I don't think you didn't tell me this.
I don't know if I did or not, but yeah, they're in Texas. They're out there in the Hutto, Leander area, out around that area.
So they got the hell out of Cali.
I got a picture of him sitting with his daddy and his son at a picnic table.
Wow, you got eyes on them.
Look, they were being, they might not have known, but they were being stalked.
Wow, got eyes on them.
I want answers. You know what I'm saying? And I'm steadily telling California City PD, here's the information. This is where they're at. Here's the picture. Gave it all to them. And I'm telling you, to this day, to my knowledge right now, they haven't spoken to him.
They still haven't spoke to him.
As far as I know, if they haven't, and if they have, it would have been the DA probably by now that might have spoken to him. But I don't know if she has or hasn't yet until I talk to her again. She did tell me that she did want to speak to him, but just bringing him out here, I don't think they want to. I don't know that they're going to do that.
Wow, that's interesting.
They're not going to be charged with anything. Anything that happened back then, they can't. You're not going to get charged with anything from back then. You know?
Yeah, I mean they can't.
Yeah, there's no charges. So, but you should have shown a little more concern for your wife. You think?
Yeah, he should have. I mean, but he was too busy trying to save his own behind, is what it sounded like to me.
Exactly. That's what it was. He was just trying to save himself and didn't give about what happened to my daughter or what the kids were going through or in helping me even trying to find her or anything.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He played the whole guilty part. That's why it's hard believing that he didn't have nothing to do with it.
Right, that's why I had no reason. Nobody else had any reason at that point to believe that there was anybody else involved. None. You know, everything led to him.
I know that part floored you when you heard that, because I mean, my mouth was wide open when I seen that report. I'm like, what? First person I thought about was you, obviously. Like, I know in your mind it wasn't no other suspects.
It wasn't. And you know, when the detective had called me and asked me, well, you know, how friendly was your daughter? Would your daughter have gotten in the vehicle with somebody and you know, with a stranger or anything like that? And I was like, she was friendly, but she wasn't stupid. She would not have gotten in the car with a stranger. You know, and that's when he said, well, we have a suspect, and I have credible evidence on this person. And then, you know, after she was found, and him and I really sat down and talked about everything, and I told him, I said, look, I'm sticking to what I had to say. My daughter would not have got in that car with him.
Yeah.
That part, I don't know how you guys can prove it, or if you even will try, if it's even relevant at this point. But she did not willingly get in that vehicle with him. I'm telling you, she did not. And she doesn't drink. So that whole little scenario right there is a freaking lie. It didn't happen.
She didn't drink at all, or she didn't drink beer?
She didn't drink beer. She didn't drink at all. She really didn't drink. If she would have a drink, it was with family. She didn't. She wasn't one that was. She wasn't a social drinker like that. If she had a,
so her first thoughts wouldn't have been to go to the bar and have a drink.
Oh no, she didn't do bars. You know, she would not have. That wasn't her thing. So, she like there have been times. I'm not a drinker either, but there has been times that we've gotten a pack of wine coolers, and her and I, after the kids were in bed, we would sit and have a wine cooler and watch a movie. But she wouldn't drink with a friend. She wouldn't be drinking with somebody she didn't know. Period. She just wouldn't know. And then we got the whole scenario of the communication problem. He speaks Spanish and she speaks English. So that whole scenario, then that part of it, I believe, is all a lie.
I'm sorry, all of a sudden I got hungry. I'm like, let me.
You're fine.
It's like I was hungry, but I didn't know what I wanted to eat.
Yeah.
I don't really have a taste for nothing, but I know I need to eat something.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I said, I don't that's that part of the story, you know, and the issue with the refrigerators is always just not set right with me.
Well, I really hope that all of that is revealed. Everything that you're questioning, everything that you uneasy. I mean, just the whole thing. But yeah, I hope all of those answers, those questions get answered, because it's been too long, and I think everything should be overturned.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's just it's a whole horror film.
Yeah, it is.
What my daughter went through that night, and that really hurt me, because I couldn't protect her, and think that I didn't know where she was. I didn't even know this was happening to her, and not be able to protect her from this evil person. It kills me. It kills me every day.
Yeah, I know that's hard. Devastating. Devastating. And that was your best friend.
My other half.
One thing you can be proud about is that you never gave up, though, because so many mothers would have. So many people would have, probably just because they don't know. You know how many people then gave up on their people? You never gave up. You knew that this was gonna get solved one day. And I'm just so happy that it happened finally. You know, her and the boys got justice coming.
I made a promise with her and the kids. I would not rest until I found out what happened to her and brought her home.
Yeah, thank God that He gave you the strength to do it. I know it's rough though. Golly. all these years. Like I just couldn't imagine. I can't imagine, but all these years not knowing, and finally you know now.
And that was part of the worst part. It's the not knowing, not being able to know where she was, going out there and seeing all that desert and not knowing. Literally, she was in somebody's backyard. She wasn't out in the desert areas where I thought she probably was. She was in a backyard.
Wow.
You know, I never would have thought of that. You know, I mean that never even entered my mind. I mean, it's like you see stuff on don't happen. Like, like I used to tell people, you know, I used to sit up and see flyers, things, and things like that. And when I would cry because I would think about the families and hurt to the families. And you never think that it would happen to you, and then all of a sudden I'm walking down the street, and every building I go in, everywhere I look is my daughter's face with a missing poster. You know, the kids had to live through that. They couldn't even go into the fast strip out there or the little Family Dollar out there or whatever to get some candy or a drink or anything without freaking seeing their mama's face plastered on a freaking window saying that she was missing. You know, it's like you just don't think that you ever have to go through that stuff. And when it happens, it's like, it's devastating. And that's why after I stayed out there for 2 years, I couldn't do it anymore because I was by myself with the kids. And I had already suffered with breaking my back and all that good stuff going on and trying to recover from that and trying to find my daughter at the same time and not being able to go out and physically walk around and look for her was killing me. And so that's when I moved where I'm at now, out here in Roseland. So I'm like about 30, 40 minutes from
I'm happy that you got out of there because I'm sure being in that area was weighing on you in itself.
It was because I couldn't go through that town and not wonder where she was. And I would go past the you know, you're coming in and out. There's a lot of vacant desert out there, and it's like my daughter could be anywhere out here. It's like, where is she? How can I find her? These people are not freaking helping me, you know. And it, you know, I came out here, and then that's how I ended up finding out that her husband was still out there, and then that's when that's when CCPD told me, you know, he didn't have the warrant anymore and all this kind of stuff. And it didn't come about until the beginning of this year that there was another suspect. We could have been onto this other suspect back in 2015. If you guys
it could have been solved if they would have got the letter. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the part.
If they done their jobs, if they had even did the process of elimination with her husband back in 2015. You know, but
right.
10, almost 11 years later, here we sit just now getting answers, and everybody needs to be held accountable at this point. Everybody.
Yep.
You know, the state needs to be held accountable because this guy was illegal.
That's true. No, I didn't even think about that.
You know, South City PD for their negligence. Kern County. He was living in Kern County. Come on now. Everybody needs to be held accountable because nobody did their job. Nobody did their job. My daughter shouldn't have been sitting out there year after year after year in that ground with nobody knowing where she was.
No, she should not have. And that's the part that pisses all of us off, especially her mom. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. But she is free now. And I know that, I mean, you know how you just gotta find that peace to just knowing that when they opened that ground and she came home, like, and in your house and you can feel and smell her presence, like, that's a lot. Like, I even look at that as a blessing because that's giving you a sign that she's okay. You know, of course you want her to be here. Of course, you know.
You know, I tell people, you know, because you know, grieving is never gonna stop. It'll never stop.
Yeah.
You just learn how to deal with it from day to day, and some days are gonna be harder than other days to get through. So it's just I try to just take each day as it comes, and I have some really bad days, and I have some okay days. You know,
Yeah.
going through this.
But
You know,
the kids is where you draw your strength from, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I look at the kids, and I know that I have I have to give my all. I can't break down. I can't can't
Yeah.
give
You can,
up.
I mean, you gotta break down sometime, but you know that you gotta be here for them.
I do it in the privacy of my room in their sleep.
Yeah.
You know, when I know they're in their rooms and they're doing, you know, either playing their games or watching their TV or whatever, and they're resting for the night. Um, you know, I'll either go in and take a shower or a hot bath and cry, or I'll just lay in my bed and cry. I've actually had one, well, my grandson. I've had him walk in my room, and then I was crying, you know, and he'd just come over and hug me. But I don't like to show them that a lot. I mean, they do need to see that I am mourning for her. But at the same time, I don't want them. I want them to know that I've done everything in my power for their mom. You know, even my oldest son, he's 46. You know, I want him to know I did everything in my power for his sister.
I bet they know that.
They do because you know her oldest son had came to me and he told me thank you. He says you've never given up. But you just kept going and going and going, and I thank you for bringing my mom home.
Aw. Exactly. You brought her home. They seen you on the news and called. You was instrumental in it. If it hadn't been for you, we don't know where we would be right now.
You know, but like you know, I tell people that are in the same situation, don't give up. Don't ever give up.
You a fighter.
Yeah, never give up. Giving up is not an option. It's not. You have to keep fighting no matter how hard it gets. Because if you give up, everybody else is going to give up, and the case just goes unsolved. It gets pushed in the corner and collects dust, and nobody cares. So, if you care anything about your loved one, you have to keep fighting every day, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how much you want to just give up and just, you know, you can't. You can't.
Nobody will fight for your loved ones like you.
No.
That's for sure. People get powered off of the person, the victim's family.
Right.
As much as you want to do, people will do.
I almost died giving birth to her. I almost died in 2015. I'm here for a reason, you know.
Is that when the dog attack happened?
Yeah, in 2015.
Yeah.
My beautiful stars.
Oh my God, yeah, I was seeing that when you were scratching your arms. My
Yeah.
God. Jeez.
I stopped breathing multiple times, but I had something um I had to finish. I can't die now, you know.
Nope.
This isn't done. The kids aren't raised yet. It's not time for me to go yet. You know.
No, Dr. RBH, her daughter was missing for over 10 years and they just found her, in May? Buried in somebody's March, buried in the guy's backyard who's in custody right now. So for almost 11 years, her mother did not know where she was at, dead or alive, and suspected that her husband was the one that did this, and it wasn't her husband. So I have a whole playlist about Desiree. And in the beginning of this video, she explained some things. If you want to catch the replay, it's a lot. Trial is going to be coming up soon, and this monster is going to meet his demise.
Yep.
He'll never see the light of day.
And at the end of all of this, he's got to answer to him.
That's right, and he will answer. That's for sure. You didn't go through this for nothing. Your family didn't go through this for nothing. She didn't die in vain. He gonna get what's coming to him, and his demise might come a lot sooner. You know.
Yeah, just let him go out there and brag and boast out there on that yard. That's all. That's all I care about. Oh, you proud of what you did, but you ain't proud enough to sit up there and confess to it in court.
Right. Be a man now. Stand up. Stand on your shit.
You thought you was a big man when you was out there telling people about it. Now be that big man in that courtroom and tell them what you told everybody you did.
Yeah.
Stop doing it now in court.
Come and get your trophy.
Because you're not.
Come get your prize, I should say. Stupid.
Yeah. You know. And go out there on that yard and brag and boast and see what happens. See how much they like you then. See how big of a man you are out there on that yard then. You know?
Stand by too.
About it.
And 100 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, you're not gonna last long in there. And you're old.
Just like that other person didn't. You see how all that's coming up, that Jeffrey Dahmer guy. Like all of that stuff is coming back up. And he didn't last but 3 years in there.
Nope.
And then if this guy is an alcoholic, like I'm thinking, that might take him out too. He can't drink in there. Well, some of them do get hold of some.
Pruno up in there.
Huh?
They make that Pruno up in there.
Yeah, I was just saying they be in there freaking overdosing and everything. They got Narcan in there.
All kinds of stuff. These guys, but I think that at the end of the day, what he did is gonna come back on him.
It sure is.
You know,
gonna be sitting right there to make sure he get what he got coming.
Them guys in there are good at making shanks.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to stab her to death? You want to do this to her? Well, guess what?
Yeah.
Like I said, once he gets sentenced, what happens to him up in there? It's what it is. It is what it is.
Exactly.
You know? That's why I specifically told the DA and the detective that I want him in general population. I want him to get the highest.
Hey, Lisa Kleckner. Good seeing you here.
I want him to get the highest degree of justice that can be done to him, whatever the highest sentence is that they can give him, I want him to have that. I don't care if they give him 2, 3, 4 life sentences, a life sentence, whatever. As long as it's over 20, 25 or over, I'm good with that. Because he's 61 years old. He ain't gonna last that long anyway.
Nope, he not. He not. I just pray he tell the truth so you can get closure.
I wish he would. I really honestly wish he would. But he's just that type of person. He's not going. I don't see him doing it. I don't see him giving in. It's like, our family has already suffered enough. Why don't you just go ahead and I did it and get it over with and let's go on. Let's move on.
Does he PUSSY?
Huh?
He's PUSSY.
Yeah. He's but he's you that big man sitting up there killing an innocent woman.
That's what I'm saying. That's how you know he is. Anytime you target a woman or a child or anything, you ain't nothing but a punk. Exactly. You would never stand up to a man.
You go in there, brag and boast about what you did in there. Go ahead. See how those guys take it. The outcome's not going to be good for you. I can guarantee you.
What are you doing to prepare for this trial?
Praying.
Just praying. Well, not just praying, but praying. I just wondered, if it's anything you're doing special to.
Just trying to pray and
you need your full armor of God going in there.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody could really even prepare themselves for this.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect when I go in there, because now with more of my family trying to go, now I'm going to be even more on edge because I know they're there to support me and so,
But you trying to protect them.
I represent my daughter, but at the same time, I'm trying to protect them, and then I don't know how they're going to react, and that's kind of got me on the edge. But I told him I don't need no mishaps in the courtroom. Honestly, if you feel like if you're that angry, you feel like you're going to blow up, go out. If you see something or hear something, whatever, and it's disturbing, and you can't handle it, go out. Because at the end of the day, we don't want anybody getting so angry that they're jumping over trying to grab a hold of him.
Right. Even though I'd be like, get him.
Which is one reason why my daughter's oldest son cannot go.
Yeah.
He would be the one to do it. He's 6'4" and 300+ pounds. He's probably looking at about a good 340 or better. He's a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll black out. They would not be able to restrain him. One of them tase guns would not phase him. When he gets at that point, he's worse than the Hulk.
Wow.
So they probably have to kill him to get him off of him. Literally. He cannot go.
Yeah, he can't go then.
Cannot go. I already know. I
want to cover the trial. Dr. RBH, we're not sure if it'll be televised, but it may be a way that we can listen to it, and she's gonna let me know. Hopefully we can. I really want to follow this. I want to follow the trial. I want to be there too.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask them. I'm gonna ask them if there is going to be a link that they will be able to, anybody that's not able to, come to the court would be able to
listen in.
In what's going on in the court. Because I know there's a lot of people, there's a lot of people around the world that have been interested in my daughter's case. So, you know, any supporters that really want to listen in, I would like them to have that opportunity to do so, because a lot of them are out of state or even out of the country. That you know, um, at least it would make them feel like they were there,
Yeah.
you know, being a part of it.
Let me
They've been
know for sure.
That's why when I did her celebration, I did it the way I did, because I let them know. If you're a friend, family, supporter, they're all welcome.
When I get off of here, I'm gonna go watch it. I didn't get a chance to see it yet. I'm gonna watch it in its entirety. I want to see the balloons you was talking about and all of that kind of stuff. See,
The pastor is my brother-in-law.
Okay. I seen the pastor too. Was he a black guy? Yeah.
He's a sweetheart. That was my oldest son. He's my husband. So my oldest son's aunt, that's her husband.
Okay.
Yeah, my sister-in-law, that's her husband. And
still here.
My oldest son, his dad is deceased too. But he was very much, him and my sister-in-law were very much a part of my daughter's life, especially when she was little. So, you know, I automatically went straight to him for him to kind of officiate and whatever. And
was it in Cal City?
That was in Lancaster.
Oh, Lancaster. Okay.
So it's a little town south of me.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we did it at this park. That park was a park that my daughter and I used to hold birthday parties and take the kids to and just kick back and relax. It was always a very quiet and pretty park. Yeah. It's not a big park, so we didn't have to worry about it being overwhelmed with a lot of people or anything like that. And so I picked that park. Well, we also did my mom's at that park too.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just very peaceful. And for the families that had children, the playground was right there next to where we were doing everything anyway, so the parents could pay attention to their children and stuff like that. We were able to be real close.
That was a good choice too. Now, you're keeping the ashes. You're not gonna spread them out or nothing like that, right?
She will remain with me. So there's 5 urns that she's in.
Wait, how many?
5.
Okay, so I thought that it was just the necklaces, but everybody has an urn.
She's in 5 urns, 3 bracelets, and 2 rings.
Wow.
There's the ring.
That is beautiful.
Can't really get there. It goes.
It's a rose, huh?
It's a rose with a diamond in the center. And so each of the children, the boys have the bracelet, myself and my granddaughter have the ring, and then it's a big urn, and it's 4 smaller urns. So each one of her children has an urn.
Wow, that is beautiful.
Yeah. So he put her in the ground. She'll never see the ground again.
Good. Wow.
Never see the ground again.
That gave me chills too. Hi, Wee's World. Thank you for coming in. Well, Sheri, I'm gonna get off of here. Whoa, it's almost 4 hours. It was good talking to you. And you know we could talk anytime.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll keep you updated, and I'll try to find out about the link and stuff like that, so that you or anybody else that wants to watch it can watch it. And for anybody that's in there, they can look me up on Facebook under my name, Sheri Smith. I post stuff like that. So, you know, any information about the links and stuff like that, I'll go ahead and post them for people so they can. Superstar Bella, yes, he's illegal from El Salvador. Yeah, I'll just keep everybody posted the best I can.
Okay. Thank you so much. So yeah, anybody on Facebook, you can follow Sheri Smith. It's Sheri Smith. And she'll be back though. And if anybody didn't catch it from the beginning, please watch the replay. And yeah, I'm gonna look at that article too. My God.
Because it's me and Dev on that on my Facebook. So it'll have the picture of me and her that you showed earlier.
And then I will also link it in the description box. When I get, after I end this and I put all the information in there, I'll make sure that I put it in there. I'm gonna call you later. Sheri, love you. Tracy said.
I love you too.
And Desiree, her Cash App is Justice for Desiree. And if anybody want to send anything, matter of fact, oh, I got it right here. Justice for Desiree, right here on the thing. And, yeah, that is her Cash App. I'm gonna send you a Cash App when I hang up, because I wanted to send you a little gift. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And much love to you. Of course. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Everybody,
And,
love y'all.
love you.
Love you.
Okay, y'all. It's been 4 hours, so I'm gonna go ahead and end with no delay. We will be covering the Desiree, whatever we can with the court case, and I'll come back and tell y'all about the article. I don't want to do it while you here. I want everybody to know about it, but
And
I
that's
don't
fine.
want to.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you. Okay, y'all. Peace out. We out.